Yeah, that's true.
Sort of the crib.
Could you imagine when Cappy's going to own that building? Like, he's going to walk around like he owns that place.
Oh, yeah.
And those people at that hotel have no idea.
What they let in.
They have no idea. He's going to want free everything in that building.
Well,
he's going to be like, go downstairs and be like, to the bar, he's like, hey, man, I'm in the mood for some tequila. Give me your finest bottle of tequila, a drink.
I need a mandala.
Yeah, give me a mandala extra añejo.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bill's gonna be whatever. He's like, oh no, yeah, just this has got to be comped. I'm Cappy.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you noticed, George, last night on the way out the door, the gentleman Lorenzo, who was our bartender.
Yeah, you were schmoozing with him.
I dropped a 20 on him because that's just one $20 bill.
Goes a long way.
At the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're BFFs forever now.
So you gave Lorenzo a $20 bill, but wouldn't tip the valet guy at that party you were at that one time.
Poor service, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And like $40 to park. So dude's getting an hourly wage. Didn't need my gratuity.
Okay.
And needed to do better.
Okay.
Just do better.
Okay,
I
I'm
tip
just
good.
checking.
I'm a good tipper.
But Lindsay, that place has no idea that Hurricane Cappy is coming.
No, and I was going to say, I love how you think like a 20 is like, this is the start of a great relationship. Usually,
it's not a bad start, I would say.
It's not a bad start, but I would start with like a 50. Just saying.
Well, but Lindsay,
like
baseball.
a hundy.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
baseball,
get a hundy, Lorenzo's your guy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But hold on a second. It's all proportionate. For example, let's say Tiger Woods goes out to play golf at a country club, and he has a caddy from the country club. Mm-hmm. At the end of the kind of tip does Tiger give?
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
A great one?
Yeah, I would imagine one that is probably like very well, like probably the same as it cost him. I mean, he's not getting charged to play the round. So what I bet if it were me, if I were Tiger Woods in that scenario, whatever it would cost to play the round for my party, that's the tip I would give the caddy.
Well, the word on the street is that Tiger gets done and says to the caddy, "Here's a hundo." Now a hundo, come on, for a 18-hole
okay,
round.
but that's cheap, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, $20.
Oh, you're saying you're cheap?
Well, I'm saying Tiger's way up here. He got a whole lot of money. I'm way, 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 way down here. Mm-hmm. So proportionally speaking, if Tiger would have given him a 20 last night, I mean that could have been like $25,000. But for me, $20. Hey, for me and Lorenzo, that was a nice gratuity. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And I think Lorenzo and I, by the way, Lindsay Baseball, are off to a fantastic start. And now that you say 50 and I say 20, maybe next time I have to drop another 20 on him. Maybe I got to catch up and drop 3 20s on him.
Probably.
Over the course of time.
Cappy, I think you did good. Because you're going to be staying there. So it's not like it's a one-time thing.
Well, that's
It's
why
the
I
crib.
feel like if it's not Tiger Woods, golfing at one place once or twice in a year, if you're going to be practically living there.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's just my thought.
Yeah, it's the crib. Like I said, I had George and Morales both over to the crib last night. Had our marketing consultant, our MC, Matt Burke, over there as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. I had to get my phone fixed.
Yeah, had the boys over at the crib last night.
Okay, well, good luck to those guys.
Well, good luck to them is right.
They don't know what's coming, what's going to hit them.
Lorenzo, my man.
All right, I do know what hit me this morning.
Tell me.
I saw this story from Kevin O'Connor at The Ringer. And I like Kevin O'Connor. Nice dude. Does good work.
I don't.
You don't like him?
No, I don't know him.
Oh, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you didn't know.
No, so I don't dislike him and I don't like him. I got no opinion on the guy.
Totally fair. But he wrote this story, and Lindsay, I know you saw it now too, and Cappy, you've seen it now too, that basically trade LeBron to Golden State, right? Mm-hmm. And trade LeBron to Golden State because LeBron gets to compete for a championship, be put on Steph's timeline, right? With Draymond, his buddy, right? And Clay, obviously. The Warriors have already traded their former number 2 overall pick in James Wiseman this past season, so they got to just commit to the old guys at this point and just go all in for a championship. But then the Lakers part of it, correct me if I'm wrong, Lindsay, it's like Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and like Jonathan Kuminga or something like that?
Yep.
That's not enough. Get out of here. Like, no way. If I were Rob Pelinka, I would legitimately just hang up the phone.
I don't know, though. I mean,
I wouldn't hang up the phone.
When you're looking at production-wise, it's somewhat comparable, right?
Get out of here. What the Lakers would become, I mean, I know they were that this year, but they got to the Western Conference Finals. That team cannot get past the first round.
Well, let me ask you a quick question here. Let's bring it all together, because Mason and Ireland were talking about this.
They were?
And I know, yeah, you and I kind of touched on it a little bit. If LeBron James was not a Laker, I'm just asking purely hypothetical. If I told you that LeBron was going to retire today and the Lakers would still have an interest in Kyrie Irving, would Kyrie Irving have an interest in the Lakers if LeBron was not on this team?
Perhaps.
Probably.
Okay. So, I mean, this whole idea of trade LeBron to the Warriors, I know it sounds ridiculous because you don't want to trade a great player inside the conference and help strengthen a rival. But on the other hand, I mean, you do have to prepare for life after LeBron. And life after LeBron is coming really quick now. So I actually, George, don't think it's the worst concept I've ever heard. Because
not for that group of players, though.
Well, fair enough. But here's the thing I think I took away from the Denver series. They got an elite big man. I think the Lakers have an elite big man. I think Jokic is better, but I think the Lakers have a top-notch big guy, right? But you know what the Lakers haven't had, and they didn't have it all season, and it was identified after day one? They don't have a laser.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the Nuggets have a laser. So they got the inside game and they got the outside game. And by the way, and then they got a lot of really nice players around those two. I guess if you ask me who would I rather have and who would I rather continue to build around, AD and a big-time shooter, or LeBron and not AD and somebody else, I just don't think this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but I'm not trading LeBron James for Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, who was a complete unmitigated disaster.
True.
Okay,
true,
during the
true,
postseason.
True.
And Jonathan Kuminga, who is really young, athletic, but basically started playing basketball like 17 minutes ago.
Okay.
Like, he legitimately started playing basketball very late in his life.
Only less than 20 minutes ago. So, I mean, what do we really expect from the guy?
Okay. That's clearly an exaggeration, but you get my point.
Okay. A couple hours ago, as it were. How about Moses Moody? You throw him into that, too. That's another name that was mentioned.
No, that's not a...
Of course, but George, I think here's what would be happening. If you were the Lakers, and this is all just hypothetical, but if you were the Lakers and you were considering trading LeBron or AD, who would you be more open to trading?
AD.
Yeah. I think you can get more for him.
And he's
younger. Like, yeah, if you had to trade one, you trade the younger one.
See, I'd rather trade the older one.
You're going to get stuff back, like a lot of stuff.
Right, but I'd rather actually continue down the road with AD.
And why? He's so unreliable.
Wow. Didn't you see how he contributed on the defensive end?
Nope.
Oh, my God.
I just want to say that I feel like LeBron's probably going to attract more, more players than AD would, no?
You did not see his defense? Are you for real, girl?
There's games where he didn't show up, Cappy. Let's be serious. You can't just go on and off like that.
Come on. No,
Every other Davis.
Sometimes when he only scored 18 points, guy was just giving you everything he had on the defensive end. Best defensive player. Am I wrong, George? Come on.
He has been arguably in these playoffs for sure.
I mean, come on, Lindsay Baseball.
But again, the expectations for AD are completely different than LeBron.
LeBron,
so comparing them,
also AD. This is the first time that, even though we've been talking about it for years, the first time where it's been really put on AD. Like, he's actually talked about it openly. LeBron has talked. Everybody's talked about it openly. Like, AD's got to be the guy. Like, it's only the first time that's happened.
You've talked about it, Cappy.
But he's not. But he's not the guy.
Right.
But he's talking about, like, he needs to be the guy. That was his answer to me last year, or the other day, about last season. That he needs to go into this where he knows that not every night LeBron's going to have it, and he's got to be the guy to be the guy.
Yeah, but he'll never be the guy. He'll never be the guy so long as LeBron is on the team.
Maybe not. But it always boils back to the LeBron part to you.
Well, but hold on,
I don't
real
think
quick.
that has to do with it. I think it has to do with him more than it does with LeBron.
Well, okay, well, in fairness, so I don't want you sighing in the first segment of this show today.
Too late.
Hold on. No, you have not given an official sigh yet.
He's going to go back to the games when LeBron wasn't playing.
Okay, look, here's what I want to. No, not actually at all. Here's what I'm going to say. He'll never be the guy with LeBron on the team, and I don't know that if LeBron were not on the team, that he would step up and be the guy.
Okay.
And that's the problem I have.
So I half agree with you. I think it's more about his own personality, but this thing that we thrust upon LeBron, like he's not allowing AD to be the guy. Like, come on, that's absurd.
It's not LeBron not allowing. It's AD not able to. And again, the next part of that is, but if there was no LeBron, could AD do that? And I don't know the answer. And honestly, if you
probably
said
not.
And if you said bet on it, I'd probably bet on. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We can continue this discussion on the other side, and also, let's get into what they should actually do, because this Warriors thing to me is just absurd. Like, no, like if I'm the Lakers, I'm literally hanging up the phone. Like, come on, get out of here with that. But tell people about your friends at East Central, which we were just discussing earlier.
You know, I'm really glad that we are talking about that, because last night, like I said, me, George, Chris, our marketing consultant, Matt, we all went across the street to the East Central Hotel. And this is now the crib. And think about it like this. If you were coming down to downtown L.A. for a show or for a game, the East Central is literally right across the street from L.A. Live. And so whether you're local and you're going to just look for a place to stay in the city, or if you're coming from out of town, it's a great spot. You got people coming in from out of town. They've got a beautiful new gym, which is great. We had dinner last night, a drink at Nixo, which is the bar restaurant, which is literally one block. I mean, it's right one floor over Figueroa. I mean, you're looking at everything at LA Live. So here's what I would say you do. Book your reservation now. I'll give you a phone number. It's for those of you driving around, 213-748-1291. I'll slow it down, 213-748-1291. I'm just telling you, what a great place to go out, have a great dinner, great vibe, awesome rooms. They're really big, brand new gym. You're going to love it. The East Central Hotel in downtown L.A., entertainment's official address.
To remember, we lost her today. The legend, R.I.P. Tina Turner. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Oh, man. So sad. Such a great voice. Such a great performer.
What was Tina Turner in her early 80s? 83.
She looked really good, too. She just did a
Always
documentary.
looked good.
Yeah, and she did not look her age at all.
I remember being a little kid, like a teenager, and she was probably in her 50s or 60s back then. Mm-hmm. And gosh, she was hot. And she had these moves and these legs and these short skirts and the voice and the hair. and MTV and videos. Freaking love Tina Turner.
Yeah, she's great, man.
R.I.P.
So many great songs, but this one is probably the one I associate the most with her just based on my age. But let it play here, Laura. I was like 7 years old when that song came out. So to me, that song, I believe also on the same album, Private Dancer is a great song too.
I'm your private dancer.
That Dancer for money. Do what you want me to do.
That's right.
We Don't Need Another Hero is also another song that
We don't need another hero.
that I associate with her. It was from the movie Mad Max. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
Yeah.
Was that
Mad
Mel
Max
Gibson?
Beyond Thunderdome?
Yeah,
and
that's
in the
probably
song,
the last Mel Gibson movie I saw, maybe.
Yeah, that's not true.
I don't watch Mel Gibson movies anymore.
Right, but
you know?
he did Lethal Weapon 1 through 37 after that. So
and then after that, I gave up on Mel Gibson.
Right. Yeah, so like those to me are like songs that I think of when I think of her, like for sure. Like those are the ones to me that stick out the most, just because of the era of my childhood listening to the radio all the time and her songs playing regularly.
Just one of those names that just like comes out of nowhere. Like, hey, Tina Turner died today. I'm like, oh. Wow, that's really terrible. How old was she? And then you find out she's 83, and you're like, oh, my God, that's horrible. Because 83
is a good life.
83 is a great life.
Especially when you had a life like her.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not like today. 83 is not as old as it was when we were kids, you know? So, like, even 83 to me sounds a little younger than I like. Seriously? Because, like,
I don't
I'm
mean to laugh, but Steve Mason just sent the most hilarious text ever.
What'd he say?
He writes, I was also 7 years old when What's Love Got to Do with It came out. That's usually your move, Cappy. He beat you to it.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that if you were 7, I wasn't that much older, maybe 8.5, 9. You know? Come on, man.
I'm stunned that he beat you to it via text and all. So. But anyway, what you want to wrap up?
Well, I was just busy.
Tina?
My mind was wrapped around 83.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not that old.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
No, I mean,
I
it's
still
old,
feel like
I
it's
get
the
it.
average.
It's
what is the
older.
average age expectancy in the U.S.?
I don't know. Anybody
I think
know?
it's probably less than that.
I don't know. I got a buddy of mine who's like 82 years old, and he's vibrant as can be.
Okay, average age expectancy in the USA, it is less, 77.28 years.
Really? For
that
all
was in
people,
2020.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
anybody know what happened to Tina?
In the U.S. I don't know what happened to Tina.
Nobody knows, huh?
Yeah. But, I mean, can we respect
well, yeah, I mean,
she's just old.
No, that's not it. She doesn't just die at 83 for being old.
When you live a life like she did, though, she lived a very hard life. And I know you guys always tease me about all the documentaries I watch, but, like, the one is really, really good. It's an HBO one, I think, so it's very well done. And she had a hard life.
She did. She had a very hard life, obviously, at the beginning of her life. There's no question. And then the entertainment life is a hard life, too, because you're up all night, you're performing every night, you're getting very little sleep, right? Like, for a long stretch of time, I mean, she was touring forever, it felt like, when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, and her career was over at one point.
Yeah.
She had, like, a good 10 years where she would know, like, you know, she was, like, a nostalgia act. And then she came back, so it's like she had, like, the biggest hits of her career when she was much older.
Yeah.
Like in her
look, there's
So
a lot of
Cappy-
performers that are still doing it. I mean, listen, you think about all these. Like I saw Stevie Nicks. She's 75 years old. Crushed it.
Right. Now, would you like to guess the country? Can you guess one of the top 5 countries as far as life expectancy? That's over 83 years old. There's a number of them, but can you guess any of them? Let me see. How many are there above 83? Average life expectancy. Now, this is combined male-female because sometimes the female one is different than the male one, obviously. Females generally tend to live longer.
Okay.
But give me I'll give you any in the top 10. Go. Give me any in the top 10.
Well, I'm going to go with all European countries, George. How about like Germany?
No, Germany's not on the list, actually. No.
Switzerland on there?
Switzerland is number 4.
Okay. Denmark.
Denmark is not in the top 10.
Okay. I feel like
One more strike and you're out.
I feel like I can live a very
Canada.
stress-free life in Denmark.
Canada.
You got one more strike.
All right, Canada. Is Canada on there?
No, you stole Lindsay's and she led you astray. That's right.
How about Mexico?
Yeah, I helped you out.
Yeah.
No,
Well, that's where I
here's
was
the
going
top
first.
10. You want to go 10 to 1?
All right, go ahead. Top 10. These are countries where you live the longest.
The average life expectancy.
Okay.
Number 10, Iceland, which has become very popular these days.
Is that because of Game of Thrones?
I don't know. No, I mean more because people are visiting it. Maybe it was because of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Channel Islands is number 9.
Would never have gotten that.
Okay, yeah, definitely not. Australia, number 8.
Okay.
I know what number 1 is.
Which is also Australia, just under 84 years old. Also just a smidge under 84 is number 7, Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is Italy, just barely above 84. Singapore at 5, above 84, just above 84. Switzerland, you got that one.
Portugal.
No, Portugal's not on the list either. 84 and a quarter for Switzerland. Macau is number 3. 84.
Macau?
Yeah, Macau. It's one of
Never
those.
heard of it.
Yeah. All right, Japan, 85.03. And then Hong Kong, 85.29.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that. I clearly did not guess that. And how about that? Hong Kong, you lived the longest, huh?
Yeah. Hong Kong women live average of 88 years old.
And
Same
what
in
is
Japan.
And what is the United States where we live? That's kind of
hold
more
on. Life
relevant for
expectancy?
us.
Hold on. Yeah, we're
That's
like
kind of-
77 or something.
You're kidding me.
Hold on, I'll tell you right now.
It's gone up in the past 2 years.
We're number 46. We're at 79 now.
79 years old.
Yeah.
All right, so Tina Turner outlived the average life expectancy of an American,
Right.
but 83 still doesn't sound very old to me.
Okay. Well,
Not anymore.
all right. Cappy, why do you guys? I mean,
Which guys?
You and Lindsay particularly. But
Okay, what?
But there's people there that are in your corner on this. Like, AD is so important to this team, man. Like,
Right.
Just because he doesn't have to, like, just because he's not the leader, vocal leader, all that stuff. Does that make him not the best player on the team? Does that not make him the leader by example? Like, what happened to that? Like, that doesn't happen?
So wait, but when you say people like us, I'm agreeing. I'm saying to you that you started this with, this crazy notion of trading LeBron. And for me, if you told me, hey, look, we're thinking about the future, okay? And I'm contemplating how much longer LeBron's going to play. And I'm thinking about how much longer he's going to play well and how much longer he's going to play for the Lakers. And it would be my opinion that if you said to me, you have to choose. You want LeBron or you want AD? Which of the two do you want?
Well, I mean, listen, if you're looking, it's a different question, though. If you're going to trade one, you want to get the most value. So if you're going to trade, if you want the most value, you're going to get more value for Anthony Davis than you would LeBron James.
But that may not be the way I'm looking at a trade. And this is just all hypothetical, but I might be looking at a trade more like this, George. I'd rather put my eggs into the AD basket because he's younger and because of the position he plays and because of how great he can be on both ends of the floor. And LeBron's 38 going 39.
No, I get that. I get what you're saying. But I just think that you just saw what the story in the Ringer had. It's giving you guys who are like, I don't know, Andrew Wiggins is the best player you're getting back for LeBron? Like, that's not enough.
No, I mean, I hear what you're saying on that part of it, and I don't really have a big debate with you about that.
Right. That's part of the problem, though.
But I don't think, but again, I guess the way I read it, and you guys know I have my own interpretations of the way I read things,
yeah.
The way I read it was like, hey, if I had to choose between one or the other, if you said to me, hey, look, you play GM for the day, you keep AD or you keep LeBron, who do you keep? I'd say I'd rather have AD and go try and find a laser to have that inside-outside game rather than, A, get another star to be a big three, or secondarily find more pieces to accommodate and try and win one for LeBron. He ain't the Gipper. He's won one with the Lakers. It's great. But if I had to think long-term, I'd rather put my eggs in the AD basket than the LeBron basket. That's what I'm getting at.
Who do you bring back here? Like, should they just run this thing back?
No.
So there are guys you definitely think should go.
Correct.
Okay, let's do that on the other side. Also, some good and bad news for the Dodgers. We'll touch on that. But first, let me tell you about our friends, Jacob and Ronnie, our friend. Come on, man. Listen, if you're injured in an accident, you need to immediately see a doctor and get back on the road to recovery. It's that simple, okay? But what happens is when you call the doctor and they don't have an opening for a week or, even 2 weeks, then you're stuck, right? But when you call Jacob right away after an accident at 844-24-JACOB, you know Jacob. He's going to handle all the aspects of your case. That includes getting you the doctor's appointment, usually on the same day, with a doctor in your area. And the doctor doesn't get paid until the end of the case. So you don't have to pay a penny out of pocket to get your health care and get you all set up and get what you need on that end. So even if you're in between jobs or don't have health insurance, Jacob can get immediate medical attention for you that you deserve. If you're injured in an accident, simple. Call Jacob, guys. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. A lot of attorneys say they're going to fight for you. You call Jacob, he'll win for you, man. Call him at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. Or visit him online at calljacob.com.
Wake
Put a little drawn butter on there, salt, pepper, a little garlic powder. Bam! And on this day in 1994, Heavy D and the Boys released their fifth and final album, Nothing But Love. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. What you got? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like asparagus is the most overrated of vegetables.
Asparagus.
I think it's delicious.
What's so delicious about it?
I don't know. I enjoy it. I like it with a little béarnaise sauce.
But what does asparagus
French
actually
fries.
taste like?
I don't know. What does
It's good,
anything
though.
taste like?
I don't know, it's like a big old green bean.
Yeah. I think it tastes better than green beans.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, no.
No.
No, no.
I think it depends how you prepare asparagus. Because my mom was very anti-asparagus, like, for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing it with, like, just, like, a little bit of, like, salt and pepper and a little bit of garlic and butter. I put it in the oven. She was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is actually really good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's my point, is that if you have to put all these things on it,
I mean, but a lot of veggies are like that anyways. Like Brussels sprouts, bro. Like, everybody hated those.
no, right. Now everybody
Yeah,
loves
no.
Brussels sprouts. They
Everybody-
put bacon on it, basically.
Right, you
Well,
put
no,
bacon and
you-
some kind of drizzle all over it.
No bacon. Just put them in the air fryer with, like, a little bit of, like, low-sodium soy sauce, and you're good.
I don't use my air fryer. I got to break it out.
Oh,
Put it
that's-
next to my lomi.
That's the problem.
But the, I don't know. Carrots taste fine to me.
Oh, well, yeah.
like
Like,
it.
you can eat carrots like solas. Like, you
Right.
just wash them and peel them, and
That's
you're
what
good.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like asparagus is just an overrated vegetable.
They had really good roasted carrots in the media dining room.
Oh, he's very
last
good,
week?
as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Very good.
They were.
Yes.
That was where it's at.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
would take those. I would take them. I put them in the to-go thing.
I did too.
And then I take them up to the 710 suite so I can put them together with my chicken tacos.
Same.
I need to have a little vegetable, you know? Why, George? I would go into the
Celery's
media
actually
room.
really good too.
Celery tastes
I
like
do
even
know.
less
Celery.
than
Yeah.
asparagus.
Celery
does.
and lettuce has no
Celery.
taste.
Nah,
no
too
taste.
bitter.
It has no taste. It's just
I
water.
love
Water. It really is.
bitter.
I love celery, and my mom when I was little,
Tomatoes. Oh, that's a fruit. Technically,
that's a fruit. Yeah. That's why when people are like, "Oh, pizza," fruits don't belong on pizza. I'm like, okay, tomatoes on it,
yeah.
like whatever.
Yeah, but carrots is like the.
Well, carrots is great.
Yeah.
Carrots
I
are
eat carrots
great.
every day.
Do you like
Carrots and
beets?
hummus. Beets?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not. My mom loves beets. I'm not a beet. Maybe it's because when I was a kid, she made me try to eat it once, and it was just like one of those forced things, so I
Same.
never eat it again. But yeah, beets is like a big healthy thing now.
Beets to me looks like cranberry sauce
Yes.
from a can
Yeah.
during Thanksgiving. And I just, it's not, I don't know, it's too purpley.
You know who got me in that cranberry sauce in a can thing? Momo.
Oh, really?
Keyshawn too. He loves cranberry
Yeah,
sauce.
I used to do it like from scratch, and it's a lot of work. And they're like, just do the can. I'm like,
It
oh.
is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So Cappy,
Yes. Talk to me.
I asked you, should the Lakers run it back? You said no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right. So who's off Laker Island?
Well, I'll be honest, man. I don't feel good about having to say this because there was a time where I thought that maybe the Lakers should just take this roster and run it back. Because what they play 23 games after the trade deadline,
Yep.
8 full games with LeBron before the playoffs. So really, all told, they probably played a grand total of about 25 games together. You know, but I will tell you that I think that a guy like DAngelo Russell, who I was pretty high on because he can get hot quickly and he's got a really smooth stroke,
Gotta go.
can't play defense.
Yeah. And
You know?
and again, certain teams he's not going to be able to score all that well.
And if you're an organization and you're having to worry about losing him because, you're contemplating changing his role for the better part of the team, for the betterment of the team, if you're worried about losing him because you may ask him to come off the bench, I don't have time for players like that. But I listen, if you're good enough, okay, fine.
Listen,
but-
if I were a GM, unless I was like the Warriors basically used him as like legitimately like an asset in a lot of ways, right? Like they knew when they traded for him, they were trading for the contract. They weren't trading for the player. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that if I were the Lakers, the only way I would bring him back is if I was trading for the contract, or if I was signing the contract to be able to trade it later,
Right.
not the player, because I don't believe the player. This player had an opportunity in a contract year to show you what he was made of. He's no longer a young player anymore, okay? This is not when he was here the first time, okay? He is a 27, 28-year-old player now at this time. He's been in the league almost 10 years. He is who he is at this stage. It's very rare that a player makes like the jump Jimmy Butler has made, where in his late 20s he became the franchise player. That does not happen in the NBA.
And it's not going to happen for DAngelo Russell.
Right. I'm not betting on because of the outlier, because the outlier right now is having a good run, right? Like you don't do that. That's a fool's errand, in my opinion. Yeah. So if I sign him, if I'm the Lakers, it's only because I need that contract to be able to get a player back that can help me, or players, kind of like they did with Russ.
Yeah. Listen, I like DAngelo Russell. I'm telling you, man. I think he came in. He got
good
hurt
dude.
early.
This is not a personal.
Right.
I want to state this in the front end. This is not personal at all. This is strictly a business conversation.
Yeah. I mean, listen. I like his hair. I like his left hand. What? DAngelo Russell got cool hair.
He does have cool hair. Yes.
And the way he's got it all knotted up in the back, it's cool, man.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I like his hair. I like his left hand. I like that he can get hot and he can score a lot of points. What I don't like is he's inconsistent scoring and he's not a defensive player. In fact, I think last week you called him, and I think it's the right word, he's a finesse player. Mm-hmm. Right now, you need more physical players and less finesse guys. So DAngelo Russell for me, hey, thanks for the trade. Thanks for the effort. Thanks for a couple of nice games. But it's not a long-term relationship.
Yeah, Linz, what is this NBA executive, like, what is this story about this NBA executive
So
talking about LeBron and D'Lo?
Yeah, I saw this right before the show started. It's from Clutch Points.
Oh, it's Sean Devaney, right?
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
an NBA writer. Yes, I
And
know who that
he
is.
basically said that D'Angelo Russell, he's heard that D'Angelo Russell is not LeBron's favorite player.
Okay, but why? Does it give any reasons?
He said, I hate to say that one playoff series can change the franchise's whole outlook on a guy because that just does not happen, but it's happening with some of the people in that building, maybe most significantly with LeBron. Is this a guy you want to invest in? Does LeBron want him back? There's talk he's not Russell's biggest fan.
Okay, there you go. And look, I'd have to. I don't know that to be the case, but I could see why LeBron wouldn't like a player like that. Not to say that I know that that's the case for sure, but because of the points we've already alluded to. Like if we see it, he sees it. You know what I mean?
Well, so look, D'Angelo Russell is a guy that I personally do not want to sign and give big money to and have.
What if I
back.
told you it's basically just like a placeholder, like to get a better player potentially or
You mean
players
like
later?
A sign and trade kind of a deal?
No, it doesn't have to be sign and trade. If
Okay.
you sign him initially and then just trade him before the trade deadline, you know?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I could live with it, but I got to make sure I know I can get rid of him. And if he's already signed and I don't have as much leverage necessarily with somebody else because they know I'm trying to get rid of him, I don't know if I want to do that. But on the other hand,
You
I
can't
also
let
don't want
him
to get
walk.
nothing.
You can't let him walk.
You can't get nothing for him because
Yeah.
you gave up to get him.
Right.
Other guys that were part of this trade, look, obviously Austin Reeves, got to have that guy back.
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura, obviously got to have him back.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look around at some of these other guys, like Malik Beasley, for example, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't need him.
Yeah, no, they're going to let him walk. He's got a $16 million team option for sure.
Don't need him.
Yeah.
So now I don't need Malik Beasley. Now I don't need D'Angelo Russell. A guy like Mo Bamba, I didn't see him play for the Lakers because he really didn't.
See you later.
Don't need him.
Yeah.
Jared Vanderbilt is a little different.
Oh, no,
because,
you keep Jared Vanderbilt. He's $4.5 million, dude.
correct.
Yeah.
He's not a big money guy, and he's a good body, and on occasion he can score.
Yeah.
And on occasion he can play some decent defense. But at $4+ million, I'm getting great value out of that guy.
100%.
A guy like Dennis Schroeder, George.
Well, it depends on the deal, right? Yeah.
Right. I'd love to keep Dennis Schroeder.
Sure. So I am genuinely curious to see who they keep. And we'll look, I mean, this thing is not, I mean, what is it, the middle of May? We got about 6-7 weeks here where we'll know what's happening fairly soon, is what I would say. Over these next few weeks, basically this is rumor season, right? And then in about a month, we're going to get like crazy rumors. And then after that, we're going to start to hear about the signings and where things are leaning. It's going to be like the end of June after the finals is going to be really fun in
Hot
regards
take
to rumors.
season. Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But you know the one thing that kind of has me a little worried about it?
You know
is
what has me worried? It's not
Tell
even
me.
about the Lakers.
What is it?
It's Dustin May going on the 60-day IL.
Oh, I was still worried about some Lakers stuff, but I
Oh, we can
understand
worry
your-
about that in a second.
I
But aren't you
understand
worried
your
about?
concern.
I mean, I feel terrible for Dustin May.
Listen, Dustin May is a guy that he came back, I don't want to say like ridiculously fast.
But fast.
He came back from the Tommy John surgery fast, and it, like, I think it was game one. We were like, okay, hey, look, Dustin May, this is what you kind of were hoping for. And then just kind of the arm, it hasn't held up. And so I'm kind of thinking that maybe he came back a little too fast.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way in hindsight. But separately from that, and we wish him like a speedy recovery, obviously, this Bobby Miller kid looked
Great
pretty
story.
good. What was the celebration they did, Lindsay?
Oh, dude,
They,
this was
they
gross.
poured like hot dog condiments all over.
Yeah,
them.
they took ketchup, mustard, relish,
everything.
beer.
Cappy!
Yeah.
That's the bit! Hold on, damn it. My headphones came out of this socket here. Hold on.
What?
I got so excited that
That's
his
the bit.
headphones-
Do that. You can beat Mason. You got to take your clothes off and we pour hot dog condiments on you.
like Double Dare.
I got a weird hang up about hot dog condiments.
Of course.
Cappy, if we do this to you, people will vote you can beat Mason before the Mandy's.
I know, but I don't. George,
He
I
already
know
has
this
him
is,
beat.
this is going to
No, he
sound
doesn't.
really weird.
I'm just saying.
Mason ran around naked. This is
The bit thing.
This is
Oh.
the nakedness.
This is wacky radio stunt.
Correct. This is nakedness, or to his skibbies, And then also, you're throwing food condiments.
That
on
is a
him.
good idea. I feel like
Cappy!
George is on something.
Cappy, you win.
You guys don't understand. I have a major life hang-up.
Right now, Mason is listening right now, ready to steal the bit from you.
Cappy, what if we
You got to
get,
commit to this now.
No,
we get
no.
Willie Dills to dump relish on you?
That's different, but that's not going to happen.
Cappy, I'm on your corner.
Okay, we need to talk about this as a show. Let's do that on the other side. Plus, JJ Redick is fired up about Anthony Davis. We'll tell you what he had to say, and we'll see if I send JJ Redick to hell all next.
ESPN. Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Linz, what do you got?
Well, Instagram plans to release a text-based app that will compete with Twitter and may debut as soon as next month. The Facebook parent is testing the product with influencers and some creators. And in the app, you'll see a feed. You can make text posts up to 500 characters long with attached links, photos, and videos. The app looks pretty much like if you mixed Instagram and Twitter together, and Meta will apparently have some really good moderation controls from the start, like all the people you blocked on Instagram, that's all going to carry over. And, you know, that's right, trying to cut back on some of that hateful tweets.
Listen, let me tell you something. Zuckerberg is no idiot. He sees the stuff going on at Twitter. He senses a moment of weakness, and he's going in because he already owns everything else you do, basically, on social media anyway.
Yep.
By the way, I think that's actually like analysis that's right on. I think that if I'm Mark Zuckerberg and I've got the assets that he has and the software that he's built and the infrastructure and the people, I would look at Twitter right now as vulnerable. And given what you already have in Facebook and Instagram, yeah, if I were going to create an additional social platform to compete directly head-to-head with Twitter, now is the time.
And you can, it's integrated like with Instagram. So like you don't need to
you
make
just
an
slide
additional
everything
account.
over. Right, yep,
exactly.
Yep.
I like it. Hope it works out.
It's good because now there's like an account manager where you literally have your Facebook, your Instagram, and anything else they own, and it's probably just going to be there. It's one
But
login.
I do wonder this, though, as much as we all think, Twitter, this is the time to, go toe-to-toe with them, I do feel like Twitter is such a part of people's daily lives, and I don't know if it's everybody. Maybe
No,
it's
it's
like
not
just
everybody.
us,
Yeah.
like
It's just
we're in
us.
this
It's
world.
people in our world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I wonder, is like Twitter ever going to be like another social platform that could come and go?
Like MySpace?
MySpace didn't have the run,
Is
obviously.
Elon going to be Tom? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't. MySpace didn't have that much runway, that much time. Or like, another social platform that came and went all within like a year is called Clubhouse. So that doesn't have the time also or the legs. I don't know
MySpace
if-
was around for a while.
I was gonna
MySpace
say.
MySpace was huge.
Yeah, but when you say around for a while, I mean, Twitter is
Only
what do you
Greg
think?
gets that joke.
I
but
absolutely got that
But
joke.
he's like one of like 12 human beings, including Morales, who got that joke if he was listening. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, how long do you guys think Twitter's been around? 15 years?
I think it was like
2009, 7
Eight
or
or
8.
nine. Yeah.
2009, 8,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how long did MySpace have? Because I really don't know.
It's still around.
Still, yeah. Doesn't
It-
Justin
it's for
Timberlake
music.
own it?
In
It's
fact,
for
yeah,
musicians.
It's a music thing
before
now.
SoundCloud became like huge, people used MySpace to like that's how like a lot of underground
Yeah.
artists started.
Does Tom still own MySpace?
think
Is he
so.
still your only friend?
No, isn't it Justin Timberlake? I thought Justin
No,
Timberlake.
Tom was the
No,
friend.
Tom was the original.
No. Who owns it now?
Oh, I don't
yeah.
know.
Who's Tom?
You weren't on MySpace?
Clearly didn't have MySpace, Cap.
Did never.
You
had
would have
MySpace.
never been on my top 8. bro.
So MySpace started in 2003 and lasted in its peak years till 2009. So that's 6 years, not like a small amount of time.
Twitter
No.
absolutely took that over.
Sure, but
Yeah.
but 6 is not small.
No.
But Facebook it also coincided right around the time with the rise of Facebook, and Facebook just took it out.
What's the other one, Bergie? That is where the mafia is. Isn't there? Aren't they?
Reddit?
on it?
Oh, Reddit, yeah.
Now,
Reddit,
Reddit.
yeah.
That's not
Now-
really social
now-
media, though.
That's
No,
a
but-
sewage.
I mean, it's social media. I mean,
Yeah.
you're still
It is.
kind
But
of talking
Reddit-
to
It's
people.
just a chat board.
But do you guys know
Yes.
that Reddit
It's
is
no different
probably,
than the chat boards that
It's
were
a
before.
dangerous chat room, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah.
But how old do you think Reddit is? How long do you think Reddit's been around?
20 years.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
like
it's been
20
around for a
years.
long
yeah,
time.
That's what I'm saying, like 20 years. So
You
I
should get
just
cited
wonder-
on there.
I wonder if like now Twitter is so ingrained that it'll always be a part of our lives, or at some point maybe it just completely drops off. And
Dude,
no
if
one-
I were
no one's
Zuckerberg,
ever
I'd
going to
go
use Twitter again.
Because again, just like I said earlier, I've got all these resources already, and I've got all these people on my other platforms. I'm going all in on Elon.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is what you need to know. Brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Before we get to JJ Redick on Anthony Davis, and we'll decide if this would hurt me if I had to send JJ Redick to hell. I love JJ Redick, Cappy. So
There's no way that JJ Redick says anything, even if it's anti-AD, where you say to JJ Redick, "Go to hell."
I
do
love
it.
I love JJ Redick.
Yeah,
I
but
love JJ Redick.
Right, but even if
It's
he,
my
even
guy.
even if he's on the way polar opposite end of the AD discussion, you're going to say everybody go to hell other than JJ Redick.
I don't
You're
know.
You're not going to
We'll
tell
see.
him to go
We'll
to
have
hell.
to hear what JJ had to say. But before that, Greg Bergman is in this room.
Yes, I'm afraid. Every time I'm in this room, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
Bobby
you feel like
Miller.
you're going to get attacked, don't you?
Yes, I do. It
Bobby Miller,
was amazing last night.
incredible. And I'm looking forward to the future of him and Gavin Stone eventually.
Gavin Stone eventually. Yeah.
Um,
Pepio.
But I loved the celebration. Now, don't you think if Cappy he'd take it a step further, right? Because Mason ran around the office naked.
Yes.
Well, in his underwear.
Yeah.
If Cappy got
great.
down to his underwear and then we threw hot dog condiments at him like they did Bobby Miller, wouldn't he beat Mason at that point? Wouldn't he take the lead
Ooh, see.
in the Bit of the Year award?
It feels like because you're
It'd
already.
have to be a late addition to the ballot.
Well, it's on the ballot. What Cappy does is on the ballot.
There you go. It could be what Cappy does, right?
So
that could be the
it
one,
could-
though.
Yes, if this could be
That's
the thing
how he
that you
directed
do.
there, Cappy. Come
Yes.
on. So,
Right,
do you
so-
believe he would pass Mason if he did that?
With that, if you guys were throwing hot dogs and putting ketchup and mustard and relish and sauerkraut
Yeah,
and whatever
yeah,
else you
on
could have,
Cappy, yes.
I think because he already did the whole naked thing with just his underwear, that now you're kind of doing the same kind
No,
of
no,
thing.
Yeah,
no.
but
It
it's
needs to
also
be
a
different.
tip of the cap to the Dodgers, too, on top of that.
So there's a little bit of that. I don't know. What are you saying? No for, Lindsay?
It's different because first of all, you got to get one of those little spinny, like the hats with the little spinner on top. like they used to wear in like the Wienermobile
those things are great.
commercials.
Right.
You know, because it's like Cappy's like the hot dog, right? And you're pouring the condiments on him. Secondly, like anyone could just like strip down to their skivvies and run through, but like
Right, because-
he's
but
gonna have to shower after this.
Well, sure. I think, but so maybe, I don't know, because the whole thing with Mason and getting down into his skivvies was it happened so randomly and
Totally
organically.
organic,
It
right.
was completely organic. I swear to you it was.
But this is actually even better because it may not be organic, but it's a tip of the cap to the Dodgers.
Yeah,
All right, George,
I
let
get
me-
that.
let me-
I just don't know if that surpasses it yet because you're doing the same
guys-
type of thing.
But you guys are not giving me a chance.
Or
to
how about you
explain to
dress up in a hot dog costume and then we do that?
Okay,
That's
see,
kinda
that's
what I was
funny.
thinking.
Now
Yeah.
that's different. That's a little different. Now you're dressing up a dog. Okay. Now, if you start pelting me with relish and onions and ketchup and mustard, and then really, I think the topper at that point is to whip some sauerkraut at me, maybe even some chili and cheese. I mean, if I'm in a hot dog costume and you're going to dress the dog, then I might be into it. But George, you have to understand
There has to
something.
be more to that.
I have
think
a
we have to
s-
do something else after.
I have a scarring, okay? I have one of these emotional scarring moments from when I was a kid. I'm in about 6th grade, right? I'm about 11 years old. And the bus used to drop us off in the neighborhood. And there was one guy who the older kids, they like to pick on this kid,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like this little 6th grade skinny guy, and I'm getting off the bus, and I'm carrying my drum because we had, like, you know, band practice in
yeah.
school. And the drum weighed a ton, and it was big and bulky and whatever. And I remember we got off the bus one day in my neighborhood, and all the older kids were picking on this young guy. And they all had taken ketchup, mustard, and relish from the cafeteria earlier that day. And when they got off the bus, they all started kind of beating up on this guy with ketchup, mustard, and relish. And he was down on the ground, and they were spraying all this stuff all over. And he was a hot dog.
So it's like PTSD for you.
And I didn't have the guts,
Well, that's not a
the
surprise.
toughness,
Not surprising.
the fighting skills, you know, to like go in and break it up, you know? And I felt so bad
I mean,
for this guy.
you're
He
a
left.
grown-ass man who wouldn't tell your Uber driver to not talk on the phone. Or a guy... Or you wouldn't even move tables when a guy was talking really loud next to your table at a restaurant, in a restaurant that was completely empty.
Right. So when you bring this up that you want to throw hot dog condiments all over me because that's what they did to Bobby Miller, the Dodgers pitcher yesterday, who made his major league debut. And it's a great story. I mean, he's a 24-year-old guy who's really their top prospect, and he's made it through their system rather quickly.
Yeah.
Because he was a guy that was in school at the University of Louisville, and I only know this because I had to look it up. You know, this because I always am interested in the guy's story. How'd he get here? What's taken so long if you're
You just
24
want to
years
throw
old?
stuff at him. I think that's what the end goal of all this is, that you guys just want to throw
Yeah,
stuff
I
at
can't
Cappy.
but hot dog condiments is very. You're right. There's some PTSD going on here right now.
Makes it even better.
So do you have something better then? Do you
That
have something
actually
better?
does add to the story. That makes it better.
Yeah, you need to do something, though, Cappy. It's on the list. It's on something to be voted for. People are going to be voting for you to do something bigger than Mason, so
Right,
you
but
have
we're
to
still
come with
waiting.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have much time left. Voting
know-
ends in, what, a week and a half?
You're right, Bergie.
Does it really?
Week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere around there?
You're right. But what's the exact date of the closing of the voting? This is
It's a
important
week
for me to know.
before the
May 31st,
mandates.
right?
Okay, so
was
that
it?
would be
31st?
June 3rd.
Somewhere right around June 3rd, yeah, I believe so.
June 3rd is a Saturday, so June 2nd is a Friday.
So it's either that or the 5th. It's right around that point.
Okay. All right, so everybody just hold on. Something has to go down before the voting closes. And then when it goes down, there's got to be an instant rush to dominate the vote.
Right.
So you got to do something.
Hey,
Better hurry and
what's
do it.
today's date? Today is May 24th.
Yeah, you don't
I
got a lot of
until-
time.
I got until June 2nd. I got till next Friday, pal.
You better get it done tomorrow,
yeah.
Cappy, when you're
Cappy.
here.
Doesn't have to be tomorrow, baseball.
Well,
I think
it doesn't
it
have to
should
be.
be.
It doesn't have to be the exact day, but I mean, people need to vote.
We'll all be here tomorrow, and that gives everyone a whole week to vote.
I
Cap.
love it.
Voting ends May 31st at 12
May
a.m.
31st. Okay,
Wow, May
thank you.
31st,
I
Cappy. Now you
told
have a
you.
week.
I was
Telling
like,
you
I
guys.
remember that.
I was right around there. I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
date.
you asked
There's
me
a lot of
whole-
stuff going on.
This notion of ketchup, mustard, and relish
Okay, well,
all
you
over
better
Bobby
figure
Miller.
something else out.
It's like, man, George, it's like putting me in a spot right now. I'm 11 years old. I'm carrying my snare drum. They're beating up
Ooh,
on this guy, and I'm not
Cappy.
doing anything about
What
it.
if you guys just start bringing the condiments in like tomorrow or a day that Cappy's here next week before the 31st? And if he doesn't do anything, Just start throwing it at
Wait,
him.
you have to do
Just
it
start doing
tomorrow
it.
because we're off on Monday because it's Memorial
Memorial Day.
Ooh,
and then
yeah.
so if you do it Tuesday, that's 1 day to vote. So you have to do it tomorrow
No,
or
what
that's
do you
it.
mean 1 day to vote? 1 day? I thought it was June 5th.
No, I just
No.
said
She
I
just
was
said
31st.
May
I was
30th.
right.
Did you not listen?
I never heard that. Hey, listen, George, here's an idea. How about if I take off all my clothes,
No.
okay? I lay down on our table in the studio.
Ew.
You paint me with peanut butter and jelly, and then you eat it off of me. What do you think about that?
Disgusting. Why would anyone be okay with that ever?
That's also a little bit of an HR violation.
Oh, it is? Oh, listen, I didn't know. I mean, the ketchup, mustard, and relish, that's not. But this is.
No, you're not in your skivvies.
Why don't you become like the LA Cowboy, like the New York Cowboy with the guitar, but with your drum?
Oh, the L.A. Cowboy. With the drum, the snare drum?
Yeah.
You know, I
And
can
it's
walk
paying
around down
homage
in
to
L.A.
the whole
Live.
thing that
Yeah.
happened.
I think you should do it clothed.
Okay, yeah, he could, whatever. He can
Yeah.
wear like a fake outfit that looks like he's naked, but he's actually wearing clothes.
Sure.
Right.
That totally works.
One of those skin things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Skin-colored things.
Or like
I'm
a green
looking-
screen suit.
Oh.
All right, Cappy. Well, you got to figure it out because there's not a lot of time, basically.
Well, listen, I want to say this. To the circle of trust, I'm looking for your concepts. It is conceivable this could go down tomorrow or Tuesday of next week, but we got to have time to vote. And then everybody got to commit to vote. I'm not doing this to not win. I'm like LeBron. You know, getting into the Western Conference Finals doesn't do much for me.
Right, you've been there.
Right, 11 times.
Yeah, 12, actually. But.
Well, now 12.
All right, we're good. So figure it out, Cappy. Coming up next, find out if I send my beloved J.J. Redick to hell.
Travis and Sliwa.
PM. And it is Sedano and Kap your Wednesday afternoon. It is National Escargot Day. I love escargot. But of course, even a snail will taste good in garlic and butter, right? And happy 82nd birthday, the legend, Bob Dylan.
But you're gonna have to serve somebody.
You gotta serve somebody, Cappy, always. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
Well, it may be the devil.
That is the
or
truth.
It may be the Lord, but you're gonna have to serve somebody.
It's a clean truth.
Maybe a construction worker working on a home. Might be living in a mansion.
It's a good jam, man.
You might live in a dome.
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of Bob Dylan.
Well, because I feel like that's all you do.
Right.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you. I'm surprised.
Looking for ideas to beat Mason for bit of the year. Or is it like wacky radio bit of the year? Wait, what category are we even talking about here?
It's bit of the
year.
Yeah.
It is bit of the year. And he just took his clothes off and ran down the office and surprised the world, did it all on YouTube, and it all happened organically. At least I thought so. I was listening to it that day.
I mean, I asked Greg, right, Lindsay? We were in here in the back, and I was like, did it really happen organically? And he stands by it that it was.
Betting someone the $100 though to run around naked isn't really organic. To me, I feel like if we thought to put Tony Danza on the ballot, I think that would have won. Because that was organic and weird as hell.
Well, yeah, I thought I was being punked. I was like, who's prank calling the station right now telling me Tony Danza's on the phone?
No, it was Tony Danza. He was calling. He was mad at us.
He was really
He's
mad.
bleeping bleeps.
Yeah.
He was so mad.
God, he was just so pissed at us.
He's bleeping bleeps.
Yeah.
So anyway, Cappy.
Yeah.
So J.J. Redick was on Get Up. Now, I have not heard this audio
it's good.
yet.
It's good.
Okay.
Real good.
I have not heard this audio. I've only seen like the headlines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to hear what my beloved J.J. Redick, love that guy, okay?
You're not going to love him much longer, I'll tell you that right now.
I'd trade you in 2.7 seconds for him.
You say that, but here's the problem that you're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have a guy who's got superior basketball credentials and is going to school you every time you school
no,
me.
and you know what I'll say? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? You mean like if J.J. Redick came on yesterday and he was like, hey, LeBron, way to go, 31 points in the first half, but 9 in the second, and then you start telling him about how great he was defensively.
No, but J.J. Redick would never say
J.J. Redick's like, yeah, but what about like the Nuggets defensively?
Right.
Like what about the way they
Right.
shut LeBron down, especially in these last couple of shots?
Right.
You know, what about the defense of the
except
Nuggets?
He would never say something that
No,
ridiculous.
he would, because I don't think you're going to like what he said about AD.
Well,
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but he definitely wouldn't say what you said yesterday about LeBron.
I disagree.
How do you know?
Well, how do you know?
You want me to ask him?
Yeah, go ahead.
That would be great if we had like JJ in studio when you guys are both here.
I know, but he's
I know.
He's just not in LA very often.
But if he is, that'd be
And
funny.
he lives in New York, and then he coaches his young kids after. Like, so.
Plus, Cappy would probably make him mad anyway.
Why would I make him mad?
I don't know.
No, I would just warn him ahead of time about
You
that.
would? What would your warning be?
I'd be like, yo, my co-host, he's a lunatic. He's crazy. You're going to love him. That's it. That's actually should be my move from here on out.
Right.
It's just, yo, my co-host, just letting you know, he's a little bit of a lunatic. He's crazy, but you'll love him.
Right. Tell him that.
That's those 5 words. That's it.
So you're not going to be happy with J.J. Redick because I saw J.J. Redick on today with Mike Greenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Greenberg...
I mean, I will send my beloved J.J. Redick to hell if I need to.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you this. I'll set it up for you.
Yeah.
Mike Greenberg thinks that Anthony Davis is supposed to be a top 5 player.
I mean, in theory, yes.
Okay, well, you're going to hear what J.J. Redick had to say about that.
Okay, I'll just play it.
Nikola Jokic leads the NBA in the postseason.
He's the best player.
In touches per game.
No
the
question.
entire offense runs around him. That's not Anthony Davis and the Lakers offense.
Right.
So why are we expecting him to be as dominant offensively as Nikola Jokic?
Yeah.
Unless they say, we're just going to feature Anthony Davis all the time. It's not going to happen.
But if I just told you the 2 best big men in the entire NBA are playing in this series before it began, would you have watched that and said, yeah, those 2 guys are comparable? Like they're even playing on the same planet? I get it. Jokic is the best player. No debate, no dispute. I'm not suggesting Anthony Davis should outplay him. But did you watch that and say Anthony Davis is a transcendent player in the league?
I've never said that about Anthony Davis. And Anthony
but
Davis
it has
is not
been
the second.
said many times.
By whom? By whom?
By the basketball world
Joel
at
Embiid
large.
is transcendent.
He should
Giannis
be a
is
top 5
transcendent.
player in the league. Shouldn't he be? Have there not been lists after lists said where Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the NBA?
No, we wanted him to be that.
Okay, that's the point.
He's never been that.
Wait.
Why did LeBron want him in LA though?
Because he was available to be traded.
Yeah, I don't see anything he said there that I've never said or thought or even discussed with you before.
Wait a second. Hold on.
He said right there. Okay, let's start with the part where he says the offense doesn't give him the opportunity to do the stuff that Jokic does. It's not the same offense, is what he starts the conversation by saying.
Right. But what Greeny is trying to say is is, hey, look, everybody says Anthony Davis is a top 5 player. And then what J.J. Redick says is, no, they don't.
Right, they don't. They
No,
say
but they
he's
do.
No. Richard Jefferson said this a long time ago, and you and I talked about it. He's a top 5 talent, not a top 5 player.
Right, but what Greeny's point was, and by the way, I agree with J.J. Redick, what Greeny's point was, is if you look at these ESPN lists a couple years ago, for example, LeBron was the number 1 player on the ESPN Top 100. AD was the number 2 player on the ESPN Top 100.
AD was number 2 on the ESPN 100? I don't know.
And then
was that
well,
true?
You guys can fact check that. And then what has happened is every year when these Top 100 lists comes out, people are like, oh, man, AD's here. That's so disrespectful. He's so great. He's a cheat code. And what J.J. Redick is saying is when you think about transcendent players, Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, those are transcendent players. And what he's saying, Redick, is AD is not a transcendent player.
He's not in that category. He doesn't have the consistency of those guys.
Oh, so you're not going to tell him to go to hell?
No, I've never said. I told you a couple weeks ago I would trade Anthony Davis for Joel Embiid, and you made fun of me.
Yeah, I don't like that idea.
So then what? No, J.J. Redick is literally espousing the things I have said consistently around here. Anthony Davis, the offense is not the biggest issue you should be worried about. He impacts the game defensively, and he even added a caveat to the offense isn't even catered around him, which is true. And then he's basically telling you that, yeah, he's got all this talent, but he hasn't lived up to it, so he's not one of those guys, which is stuff we've talked about forever.
Well,
you should have listened to me.
Yeah, I'm glad you come around to my way of thinking.
So basically, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not sending my beloved J.J. Redick to hell. I'm sending you back to hell.
You can't send me back to hell.
Back.
Sedano was right.
I've been saying this all along. I'm the guy that told you he's not a cheat code. I tried to explain this to you. You told me he impacts the game on the defensive end, so that makes up for his lack of offensive consistency.
That's what I said. Yes, he's a cheat code. No, defensively, he's incredible. Offensively, he has an incredible skill set. The offense is not centered around him.
Cheat code?
When the offense was centered around him, now
when
granted,
was that?
In New Orleans, when he didn't have a good team around him, they literally did not have a good team around him. The guy was scoring like 40 a game, basically, any night on any given night.
Well, I'm with J.J. Redick. No matter what all these lists say, and no matter what Richard Jefferson says.
I don't remember the list. It's been a while since LeBron's been number 1 on that list as I'm looking back at those.
I think if you go back probably right after the
I'm looking right
season,
after the championship.
Yeah. Or
right
maybe
after the
before it.
championship, Kevin Durant was number 1, Giannis was 2, and LeBron was 3.
Maybe it was the year before. Maybe it was going into the bubble season. Listen, by the way, I didn't go home and do some homework about what year were they number 1 and number 2 on the list.
I'm just saying, that's why I just didn't.
But that's what Greeny's point was. Greeny actually said, and we didn't hear it there. Greeny's like, dude, every list has had Anthony Davis as like a top 5, and Redick's like,
not in a while.
Which one?
Greeny's wrong. I'm telling you right now, Greeny's wrong. If we're gonna do the ESPN metrics, Anthony Davis has not been a top 5 player on these lists. I'm at 2021. Going back to 2021 and don't see it.
Yeah, how about going into the 2020 season?
Okay, hold on. NBA rank, ESPN
100.
Still, that's 3 years ago.
Well, I mean, but
and 4 seasons ago now.
But what Greenberg's point was is that everybody says AD is so great, and when you saw him go up against Jokic, it looked like they were on different planets, and they're supposed to be the 2 premier big men of the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't look that way. Mm-hmm. Jokic severely outplayed him. Even if he scored 41 in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
He was completely
you were
outplayed.
right. It was 2020. But that's 1 year. And but before that, he wasn't in the top 5. So Greeny's wrong. That's 1 year.
Well,
and after that, he wasn't in the top 5 either.
Let him know. Let Greeny know.
Okay, I will. I mean, I don't talk to Greeny. But
why not? He's part of the ESPN NBA family. You talk to everybody else.
I don't run into him.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Where would you suggest I run into him?
In Bristol, Connecticut.
He's not in Bristol, Connecticut, neither am I.
In New York City?
I'm not really there very often either.
How about in L.A. when he comes to L.A.?
I mean, he's been here, but what am I supposed to seek out Greeny?
I mean, I thought you seek out all these other guys.
I don't.
Tim Bontemps.
I run into them.
Oh. Dave McMiniman?
I run into him, too.
I mean, all these ESPN guys. Brian Windhorst. I mean,
run into him, yeah.
You're best friends with everybody
But, I mean,
in
those
ESPN
people
basketball.
I actually will get on the phone with, too, on top of that. Like, I don't have that kind of relationship with Mike Greenberg.
I don't either. You got his number?
I don't, actually.
I'll call him.
Yeah, I don't have his number.
I'll talk to Greeny.
Yeah, no interest, really.
Hebrew brother to Hebrew brother.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I have no interest. I don't want to bother the man at 8:30 at night.
Oh, all right.
I mean, he's on the East Coast again.
Well, if you gave me his number, I would FaceTime him. We'd
But
put him on the air.
that would be, I would say that's inaccurate. That he's been on the list once in the last, since 2020. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was their whole debate. That Anthony Davis is supposed to be great, and he's not. And Redick is like, yeah, he's not really as great as the reputation.
Yeah, and I think we all agree with that. So I'm not sending JJ to Redick. I'm JJ Redick to hell. I'm sending you back to hell.
But I don't think I qualify.
Well, I can just send anyone to hell that I want to.
Well, that's just not, I don't understand that, really. The power of you sending everybody to
Right.
hell.
Yeah, that's the deal that I made with the devil.
I mean, you're the guy. Oh, my God. If he doesn't score 35 points, but look at the contribution on the defensive end. He's so awesome. He's amazing.
There is actually a JJ Redick that calls people box score watchers. Do we have that cut somewhere? I saw him say that on ESPN today somewhere, too. That's you, box score watcher.
I don't know. There's a lot of us out there.
BSW.
That's how Mason used to be
There's
during
a
the
lot of
regular
us out
season.
there.
You're a BSW, Cappy.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of us out there.
BSW Anonymous.
A lot of people felt the same way I felt. LeBron, great half.
And you know what you all can do?
Don't even tell me.
Go to hell! Radio Tinder's next.
You do. Let me have a... Because, by the way, George, that was an excellent out. That was just like a really high note to go to a break on. But it turns out I want to talk to everybody about Coors Light. Hey, last night when I had the guys over at the crib, over at the East Central, they said, hey, can we get you something to drink? I said, yeah. I would like an icy cold Coors Light because this is like 8 o'clock at night last night, and the sun still wasn't even down. Our days are longer. Summer is right around the corner. Coors Light and the Angels are keeping California chill all season long. Right now, you have a chance to win the ultimate Angels prize pack. Game tickets to Angels games. Their really cool team Hawaiian shirt with their logos all over. Very, very cool. And, of course, icy cold Coors Light. So, go to keepingcachill.com, keepingcachill.com. Use the keyword Angels for your chance to win. That's keepingcachill, keyword Angels, icy cold Coors Light. Summer is here. Let's get it.
Oral.
In 1986, the series finale of The Love Boat. Love Boat! Love Boat! Aired on ABC. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our sponsor, Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Take it away, producer Lindsay.
I feel like Cappy would love to be like either Captain Stubing or Isaac the bartender, but I feel like you're more like Gopher.
Oh, I would say that I'm way more Isaac the bartender than I am Gopher. Hey. And I do feel like Captain Stubing on a Saturday night looked pretty darn sharp in white tails. You know, you had to dress very
He did,
formally.
yes, for the captain's dinner, yes.
Right.
By the way, one of the BBBs, the Big Bristol Bosses, has texted me. He says he'll text Greeny for us if we want.
Yeah, get Greeny on the show.
We're not bothering Mike Greenberg at 5:30 at night.
What's bothering?
Or at 8:30 at night. on
What's
the East Coast.
bothering with the guy?
Do you feel like everyone should be at your own beck and call here?
Hey, Greeny, Kaplan. Hey, my brother.
Probably gets
Kaplan
up at like
and
4 in the
Greenberg.
morning.
I mean,
Yeah.
right, the dude's got to do a show on TV at like 7 in the morning. Right, he's probably up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. You want to bother him? He's probably ready to go to bed right now.
And you know what I'm going to call him and tell him?
What?
Get up.
God, you're an idiot.
See what I did there?
Yes,
No, that's
yes.
funny. That's
That was
very
not-
funny.
No.
This
Yes,
is
it
why
was.
we can't get you an ESPN email.
Exactly.
This is the exact
Exactly.
reason we can't get you one.
Because then I'll have Greeny's email.
Big Bristol Boss, if you're still listening, no email for Cappy.
Big Bristol Boss Triple B, if you're still listening, let me get Greeny's number. I'll handle it all myself.
No, we definitely can't give you
Do not
anybody's
do that.
number because then all of a sudden you're going to try to be way too chummy with them.
Give it to me. I got this handled.
All right, go ahead, Lindsay.
All right, so a woman who can't feel pain could hold the key to developing better painkillers. The 70-year-old London woman has experienced broken limbs, surgery, and childbirth with no need for drugs. She's just one of 2 people on the entire earth known to carry a gene that allows her never to feel anxious, fear, or discomfort. That's crazy. Now, scientists have found the root of the rare mutation, which could open up the doors for new drug research in relation to pain management and wound healing. So this is pretty crazy, like I said, and very fascinating. Here's my hypothetical. I'll just throw out a number here. If you could pay $100,000 to never feel pain ever again, would you do it? Swipe left or swipe
So
right?
I got to pay $100,000?
Uh-huh. And you'll never,
feel
pain.
pain. Now, what does that mean? Like if I stub my toe against the edge
No
of the bed?
pain. She's given birth to like 4 children, has never felt pain. She doesn't get anxious. She doesn't get depressed. She doesn't even feel fear. Like, it's just like a crazy, it's insane. That's insane to me.
I get that, but I'm saying even I can't even feel minor pain is what you're saying.
None.
Now, I can still feel pleasure though.
Yes.
Okay, because that's an important part of the.
Yeah.
Like if you can't
Yeah.
feel, if you're
Yeah.
making me not feel, I got to make sure I still get the pleasure part of the equation.
Yes, yeah, of course. In fact, this
Oh
woman...
yeah, dude, you know how annoying it is? Forget about anything really bad happening to you. The literal stubbing of your toe is one of the most
that's the worst.
obnoxious things that happens, ever.
But the question is, would you pay $100,000 to never feel pain again?
$100,000, first of all, yes. If I had the $100,000 to give and you're telling me I would never feel pain, like you could literally punch me in the face and I would just smile at you, yeah, I'd take that. Let alone having falling down, like if you're playing a sport or you're running or you just trip
Breaking
and fall.
limbs,
Right, breaking
if you could not
limbs.
feel
Yeah,
any
exactly.
pain at all, and I said to you, George, I would like to kick you in the groin. As somebody
and
who
I
doesn't-
couldn't feel it?
Right.
And it wouldn't damage my body?
Right.
I mean, it probably would.
No, if you're telling me now, is this part of the equation? Like, would it damage my body still? Would I still break
Yes.
my limbs?
Yes, she's broken limbs.
Oh.
She's been
See?
burned.
See, and that's different.
Listen to this. What's crazy is
That's different.
she's been burned before, but she didn't know because she didn't feel it. She just knew because she smelled
No, that's
the
weird.
burning
then.
flesh.
No, that's weird. No, that's too weird then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cappy?
So I'm not going to pay the
So swipe
$100,000.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm swiping left. I'm not going to pay the $100,000. Now, if there's a free version or a version that I could trade out,
trial?
maybe I could trade
It's
it
a
out
trade,
a little
yeah.
bit.
A little
Possibility.
trial and error.
But the thing is, I don't mind a little bit of pain, number one, because then I understand the pleasure. And number two, I'm going to tell you guys something right now. Natural born skeptic here. I don't believe it.
I'm also really proud of both of you because when Lindsay brought this up to me, I said, that's a psychopath. They actually don't feel. They don't have empathy. You know,
Fair.
so I'm like,
Fair.
I really wanted to see where you guys were going to go with this. So I'm actually really proud of both of you.
I don't believe it.
All right,
I
what's
don't
next,
believe this
Linz?
woman.
Well, it's true, Cappy. Not everybody is full of beans like you. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's only 2 people on the entire planet.
2 people. Yeah, it's a gene. Like I said, it's a gene. It's a gene mutation. I'm not going to keep
Yeah,
going on that.
she's like an X-Man.
Yes, exactly. All right. So
But you've never seen those movies, so you don't know what the
Right.
hell
yeah,
I'm
I don't
talking
believe
about.
it. I
Exactly.
don't
He
buy
doesn't
it.
get the reference.
Yeah.
The Heat had a chance to close out the Celtics in Game 4 last night, but they did not. One person who doesn't seem worried about it at all is Jimmy Butler. He was asked how the team plans to shake off the loss, and here is what he casually said.
stay consistent, do the same thing that I do, that we do after every game. We're going to listen to some music. We're going to drink some beers back there. We're going to go have some wine. I don't think that you could just focus on basketball all the time. You have to be able to, get away from the game a little bit, think about it. But at the end of the day, myself and my teammates, we're going to smile. We're going to be in this thing together like we always are. We're going to go get one on the road.
All right, so the playoffs are hard. They're super intense and they're stressful. So do you guys think that Jimmy Butler's outlook is a big part of their success this postseason? Swipe left or swipe right, Cappy?
I'm going to swipe right, say yes. I think that Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat as an organization have a lot of reasons to be very confident. We can look at the Heat and say, George, what were they, a 7 seed playing in?
Yeah, they lost the play-in and they became the 8 seed, but they were the 7 seed when it started, yeah.
Right, but last year they may have been like the 1 or the 2 seed.
They were the 1 seed.
Yeah. So, look, this is not an organization that is like the Denver Nuggets where they're just kind of getting here. Where they've been building for years.
They've won
the
3
Nuggets.
championships. They've been to a bunch of finals. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Recently, at least.
So if I'm Jimmy Butler and I'm the Miami Heat, I'm feeling really confident individually and organizationally.
Yeah, 100%. Look, here's what I would say about Jimmy, and Jimmy would say this about Jimmy. He's a big pain in the you-know-what, okay? But come playoff time, he knows what it takes, both when he needs to be serious, when he needs to keep the locker room loose. He is and I say this respectfully, a diabolical, genius in that sense, where, again, he's not the easiest guy to always get along with. We've seen the history, right? There are certain guys that he doesn't like. I tend to think he doesn't like the entitled types, right? If you look at his issues in the past on other teams, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons, right? That those guys kind of came in feeling like they were hot bleep because they were top picks, right? And he's had to work and grind for everything. So I think he is a really good reader of personalities and is a good BS meter. But I think that also helps this time of year because he knows what buttons to push and what not to push by the time they get to this point of the year. And obviously he plays at an incredible level. So what's next?
All right, so the private island featured in the movie Pirates of the Caribbean is up for sale. Little Pipe Cay, a 38-acre private island in the Bahamas, has listed a listing sale for $100 million. The island has a main residence that's 5,300 square feet. When combined with the guest quarters, the listing offers more than 22,000 square feet of living space. It also has a private helipad, a spa, an Olympic-length infinity pool. There's also a deep water dock and can accommodate super yachts. It's a beautiful property. Like I said, $100 million.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you guys, which fictional movie or TV setting would you want to live in?
Well, I saw the Brady Bunch house is up for sale.
Oh, that's a terrible one to answer to that question.
I'm just saying, I didn't say that would be the one I would choose. It just kind of reminded me because that literally just went up for sale recently. I saw the story this morning, which I think Home and Garden Television owned.
Oh,
and they
fun.
restored it and added a second floor because there wasn't really a second floor.
There wasn't? Oh, you mean in the
real
show?
house, it wasn't built up. The stairs went nowhere.
Oh, really? Because they would always show the outside of the house. And I was like, what a nice house.
Yeah. But the
I know
stairs
what I would
actually went
pick.
nowhere. Yeah.
I would pick the beach with Leonardo
Oh,
DiCaprio.
no. So it's funny. One of our colleagues here from the Good Karma side, Evan Cohen, who's their VP of content, he was in here one day with us. He's a big Saved by the Bell and 90210 fan. And I took him to – we happened to have dinner, me, him, Sam Pines, and Matt Burke, our sales guy, or what do they call them, marketing consultants?
Right, we don't call them sales guys anymore, George. Mm-hmm. That's politically incorrect.
Okay, marketing consultants.
There you go. Thank
Salesperson, whatever.
You don't say secretary, you say administrative assistant. You
Burke,
don't say, stewardess, you say flight attendant.
Can I finish?
You don't say sales guy. It's rude.
Okay.
It's mean.
I just said marketing consultant.
Thank you.
Can I finish? Thank you. So we were out to dinner down in the South Bay, and we were right near the Strand or whatever. So I was like, yo, we got to go see this house that you want to see. Because it was the 90210 summer house. And he went and he took a picture. So if I did have to pick one, it would be that one. Because that is literally your backyard is the beach. So I'll take that one.
You know, Lindsay, you were mentioning this island. Where is this island for sale?
In the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm. $100 million?
You can hang out with Michael. I bet you Michael could buy it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was thinking
maybe
the Thompson family should buy this island and, and welcome mega yachts and helicopters and enjoy the 22,000 square feet. Didn't I just read recently that Beyonce and Jay-Z bought, like, I want to say $100 million house?
It was a $200 million house. It was the most expensive home that was sold ever in the state of California.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it was in Malibu. I think it was in Malibu. But a $200 million house. So if I'm Jay-Z and hey, Jay, because, George, as you well know, everybody listens. Hey, Jay-Z, maybe rather than spend $200 million in Malibu, maybe spend $100 million your own island. Or, better yet, do both.
There you go. Linz, is that it?
That's it for Radio Tinder.
All right, brought to you by our friends at Tequila Mandala, the award-winning Radio Tinder. Again, brought to you by our friends at Tequila Mandala. Always swipe right on Tequila Mandala. Award-winning small-batch premium sippy tequila made from the finest mature agaves, available everywhere fine tequilas are sold. Visit their website, tequilamandala.com. Up your game and demand the extraordinary with Tequila Mandala.
Tequila Mandala.
All right, coming up next, Cappy. Could LeBron's retirement talk have more legs than we actually think? We'll get to that coming up in 2 minutes.
Travis.
'58 today, the great John C. Reilly, of course from Boogie Nights fame, Step Brothers, others, and maybe his greatest role ever, played Dr. Jerry Buss in Winning Time on HBO. And on this day in 1994, Aaliyah released her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Sedano and Kap continues your Wednesday afternoon right now.
This is a good song right here.
Is this a new song?
No, it's not. She passed away a long time ago.
Oh.
The song kind of loses its coolness to me once you find out what it really means.
Yeah, I mean, she's not wrong if you saw the documentary.
Yeah.
It's kind of
The R. Kelly thing. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's new to me.
Moving along.
We're not going to explain
Sorry,
that
guys.
one to you, Cap.
Moving along.
Hey, happy birthday to John C. Reilly, 58 years old. Like you said, George, Winning Time, like one of my favorite roles. But Step Brothers is also, all-time classic.
You going to learn karate in the garage together with somebody?
Is that a line from Step
Are you
Brothers?
serious?
Yeah, I think of more of the Catalina wine thing, as like my primary lines. And I can't say, I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times. I got some friends that are completely obsessed with it, and every time they find it on, they send me messages like, dude, you got to sit down and watch this. Like, I've seen Step Brothers like 3 times. I'm good.
In your whole, you've seen the whole movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You seem like someone that would quote from it rather frequently.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is like kind of one of those movies that's up my alley. But I've only seen it like 3 times.
Like, that's Cappy.
Yeah, only seen it like 3 times.
Lindsay, I saw in the Sedano and Kap Circle of Trust, our community section on Twitter, rather. You can go to Twitter, go to the community section. In their search bar, type in Sedano and Kap, and you can see all our P1s, our friends, listening right there and commenting as the show goes along. Grant in L.A., who's one of our best Photoshoppers. Now, this is not really much of a Photoshop. He has Tyler Hero in a bucket hat and you in your ESPN bucket hat, and he has Who Wore It Better.
Oh, I definitely wore mine better.
I would agree. It actually looks better, too.
In fact, didn't you hear on the broadcast the other day, they were like, we need to get Tyler Hero back in uniform because his fashion style on the bench is
not
terrible.
Great. Yeah, not great. Not great.
Well, I liked your bucket hat last night. It looked very LL Cool J to me.
I have one on right now.
She's got
Cap.
one on now, an ESPN one.
My ESPN one, yeah. That I
Yeah,
got
you know what? I'm looking at
in
you.
Bristol.
Yeah, they took it off the YouTube page. So there you go.
I was talking about last night you were wearing some kind of
Yeah, she had a white
furry.
fuzzy one.
They're
or
bringing
whatever.
back the Kangol fuzzy hats.
Yeah. All right, Cappy, before we went to break, I mentioned, could LeBron's retirement have more legs than we think?
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, everybody focused on LeBron's conversation with Dave McMenamin about the retirement part. But
McMenamin.
In that story, Dave asked him about kind of like the journey that he had discussed previously, which was about Bronny, right? Playing with Bronny.
Mm-hmm.
And LeBron said this to Dave. I've done what I've had to do in this league, and my son is going to take his journey. And whatever his journey, however his journey lays out, he's going to do what's best for him. And as his dad and his mom, Savannah, and his brother and sister, we're going to support him in whatever he decides to do. So just because that's my aspiration or my goal doesn't mean it's his. And I'm absolutely okay with that. Now, That sounds incredibly introspective. It sounds like to me like maybe Bronny, and again, I'm reading into this, right? May have just had a conversation with his dad, be like, yo, Dad, I don't know if I want to actually play with you, man. Like,
chill, Dad.
That'd be weird, you know?
Or maybe, you know me, I have a different read on things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe LeBron is coming to grips with, I don't know that this is going to happen.
Right, it's possible.
Because for me and Bronny to play together, I need him to go to USC.
And be done in 1 year after that.
Right. And then Bronny and I can play together when I'm 40. Now, if Bronny needs 2 years at USC.
That's a lot more challenging.
And if he needs anything beyond 2 years at USC.
That's even more challenging.
So maybe LeBron is coming to grips with some realities that he can't force his son to be an NBA player. And I don't mean force him as in, hey, son, you're going to be an NBA player. He can't force the NBA to play his kid if his kid is not
ready,
ultimately an NBA player.
Right, if he's not ready. 100%.
Because if you can't hide in the NBA or any pro sport for that matter, hey, we're going to draft him number 1, but he's never going to be any good, but we're doing it because he's
nobody's
LeBron's
drafting
kid.
him number 1.
Well, when I say number 1, I mean first-round pick. Oh. But my point is that maybe LeBron is coming to a realization that his son isn't him. And by the way, George,
I think he's probably known that for a while.
Yeah, but you know what, Lindsay? Like when you're a superstar athlete, I remember Dan Marino, he had a whole bunch of kids. None of them ever became quarterbacks.
None of them ever played football
right.
really that
Joe
much.
Montana, his son, really never became much of a football player and was like a walk-on backup at Notre Dame, and he was only there because he was Montana's kid. A lot of times, the kids don't have the passion that the father or the mother has.
Wait, why didn't you get Justin into Pitt, man? What's up? You're in the Western Pennsylvania Jewish Sports Hall of Fame.
Because unlike Tony Dorsett, who could do that, I couldn't. And Dorsett's kid wound up becoming a decent player. But
yeah, it was a defensive player, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that maybe LeBron, who's wanted so badly this dream of me and Bronny playing together, gosh, that looks so good. Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad, they played baseball in the major leagues together.
Oh, well, it's funny you say that because I remember during the pandemic, everybody was watching TV because it was the only thing we could do because we were all stuck in our houses at the beginning, right? And I remember flipping over to MLB Network one day, and they had the Griffey Jr. Sr. documentary. And LeBron is one of the people being interviewed, talking about how much he loved Griffey Jr. and how that moment for him. And this is still like fairly young LeBron, like probably like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago, maybe more. And he's talking about how, man, that must be a dream to be able to do that, to play with your dad.
I think I have that clip ready right now.
I got to be on the floor with Bronny, either on
This might be more recent.
Same uniform or, a matchup against him. But I would love to do the whole Ken Griffey Sr. Jr. thing.
Yeah.
That would be ideal for sure. Being with him, spending a full year with him in the same uniform, that would be the icing on the cake.
Yeah,
it really would be.
That is more recent, but in the Griffey Jr. Senior doc, he definitely talks about that too. So yeah, like maybe he is coming to grips with it, but it is something that he's had on his mind for a long time. But why can't we just give Bronny some credit too? Maybe Bronny's like, "Yo, Dad, I don't think that I would want you around like that. I want to be my own guy."
It is definitely a possibility, no question, that perhaps Dad or son said to Dad, "I don't really want to work with you, George." I know for me. I'm only speaking from experience. My father, when I was a kid, he worked with his father, and it was a disaster. He couldn't. My grandfather thought things should be a certain way. My father couldn't really handle it. We eventually moved. Like seriously, and maybe it is Bronny saying, "Hey, Dad, I don't want to do this," or "Hey, Dad, you've had your time. Let me have my time." Certainly a possibility, but we'll never really know. In that we don't ever hear from Bronny, we only hear from LeBron. You ever notice that? You never hear from Bronny.
Bronny's a high school kid.
Well, no, I get it, but he's also a kid who's a multi-gazillionaire through NIL deals, and he's an influencer.
So why do you want to
star.
hear from him? He's just a kid.
What I'm saying is that Bronny has been well protected. He's not a guy who's out there and available and touchable, and media gets to talk to him. Everything we've ever heard.
That's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah, but everything we've ever heard is from LeBron. LeBron wants to play with Bronny. LeBron wants this. LeBron wants that. We've never heard from the kid, so we don't know.
Right. That's why I'm saying I don't rule that part out of the equation.
Which is why I'm saying there's something to that. But I'm also thinking that LeBron could be thinking two things. One, I don't know if I can make it 2 more years.
Possible.
Two, I don't know that Bronny's going to be good enough to make it in 2 years. And 3, what if Bronny's never good enough to play in the NBA? Maybe I, Dad, need to give up on my, and I'm putting this in quotes, selfish dream. And I don't mean selfish as in mean-spirited, nasty selfish.
No, it's because
mine.
It's something he wished upon.
Right, it's mine.
Right,
yeah.
And that's in his answer to McMiniman. You kind of see some of that. All right, coming up next, Kyrie jumped on Instagram about the quote-unquote speculation about his free agency. That and are Trae Young and Fred VanVleet possibilities for the Lakers? Which one is more possible? We'll get to that coming up. Stick around. We're back in a couple minutes here on 710 ESPN.
ESPN.
Sedano and Kap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Before we get to that, I want to let you know that coming up in a couple of minutes, we're going to have the top-rated theme parks here in Southern California. That's LA, OC, and South LA, as Cappy likes to call it. Based on price, based on numbers of attractions, and based on just kind of the overall combination of everything. That according to KTLA 5 today. So I want to have that for you guys in a little bit. But Linz has got some interesting news about USC and what you need to know.
So this news just came across the timeline within like the past hour or so from ESPN's Paolo Uggetti. Friend of the
our
show.
friend of the show, yes. Yeah.
He said, sources, USC is announcing an interim leadership team in the wake of Mike Bohn's departure. It includes current senior associate athletic director Dr. Denise Kwok, who will act as interim executive administrator, as well as 3 individuals from outside of the university. So with the focus of transitioning USC to the Big Ten, those 3 individuals are former Penn State and Cal AD Sandy Barber, Mitch Moser, who most recently was a CFO at Duke, and former Big 12 Commissioner Kevin Weiberg. So that's what you need to know.
What was the name of the person that you said was kind of taking the charge, though, in the interim role?
Dr.
Denise Kwok.
Denise? How do you spell the last name?
KWOK.
KWOK.
She was the senior associate AD.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you need to know who that is?
Well, I mean, if she's going to be the interim athletic director at USC, I mean, I'd like to know who she is, and I've never heard her name before. Have you guys?
So you're going to connect with her on LinkedIn, is what you're saying?
Probably so. Yeah, probably so.
You'd be like,
Gotta
hey,
cozy up to
now,
her.
can't you can't use Boney as a reference in this situation.
No, I cannot.
You got to actually de-link with him.
Yeah, if anything, that may hurt you in this conversation.
I know, right? But
as before, you used to have carte blanche. It felt like for a little while at USC.
No more Evan Mobley sweet nights.
I know. Dr. Denise Kwok joined USC Athletics in 2004 and currently serves as the executive senior associate athletic director for student athlete development. Okay, great. This is what USC needed to do. Is hurry up and put somebody into a leadership role. Yeah. And, based on some of the allegations that are kind of floating around out there, you needed a person, someone who's a very accomplished female leader in the athletic department. Good move by USC. Very good move.
Yeah, I would agree. And when you look at the candidates, one of them, Sandy Barber, who is the former Penn State and Cal AD, is a woman as well. And, I think because you're moving to the Big Ten, I think her familiarity with that makes a lot of sense. Penn State athletics has been fairly good during their time. But having a former commissioner of a conference is not a bad idea either. But I do think that is not necessarily the exact same job, although I'm guessing he probably had to have had some sort of administrative job at a sports department previous to that, but I'd have to. I don't know that off the top of my head.
No,
but
listen, this whole thing that's happened at USC with Mike Bohn, it is such an embarrassment for the university.
It is. And by the way, think about it. They've had a number of those over the last decade, basically.
Dude, Lynn Swan, and I'm trying to think of other names. Trying to think of the guy's name. He used to be an NBC commentator, and a former USC quarterback.
Pat Hayden.
Pat Hayden, right.
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing. It is the president of USC's fault. In fact, her name is Carol Folt. Mm-hmm. It is her fault. Seriously. Look, if Mike Bohn had any reputation prior to getting to USC, that is on the president.
Right, they should have, because some of the allegations, as when we had not Pete Thamel on, we had Bruce Feldman on to talk about it. He said that some of the reporting that he was doing was that some of this stuff goes back to his days at Cincinnati.
And so if that's the case and the university president doesn't properly vet somebody / then goes up and says, hey, this is a person of great integrity. Hey, listen, I can only tell you what, as far as I knew, Mike Bohn is a man of great integrity. Yeah. And very frankly, I'm a little skeptical. Listen, I'm not saying that the allegations, and I don't even know what the allegations even really are at this point. Is he an old school kind of guy?
It's like workplace environment stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
And so here's a guy who's in his 60s who speaks differently to people from different generations, and you got to learn how to work in this environment today. So I don't know what happened. I have no idea. But I know that the embarrassment on the university is on the president of the university.
Oh, sure. I don't think there's any question that's all part of it, too. You know? All right, that is what you need to know, brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. All right, so Kyrie took to Instagram today because, obviously, after everyone saw him at Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals, everybody immediately, all of us did, were speculating about his future. And he's not thrilled about people speculating about his future.
I'm a free agent this summer, but I am in no rush to make a decision. And the speculation around my name from all these individuals that get on TV and have these personalities, all these people that have, these platforms. And I'm talking about the TV personalities, the sports folk that try to mix sports with politics and lifestyle and shit like that. Like I am in no rush to make a decision. I know what's ahead of me for the rest of my career. When they speak on my name and they're talking about potential teams that I'm going to, can y'all please, I respectfully, I'm asking you, please stop paying attention to that.
He's so annoying.
You hate him so much.
He is so annoying. I can't stand the way he speaks about himself. Put the respect on my name, and these TV personalities that talk sports and politics and lifestyle. Stop commenting on what I might do. And then this is the line that really kills me. I know what's ahead of me the rest of my career. George, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's ahead of you the rest of your career?
It looks like I'm tethered to you for a while, unfortunately. But outside of that, I don't really know.
Right, and neither do I. I mean, dude, I don't know. Seriously, ask anybody listening today. Hey, man, you got a nice career going. You're a lawyer. You've been a lawyer for 10 years. What is the future? Do you know what's ahead of you the rest of your career? And there's not one person listening right now, unless that person's retiring tomorrow. There's not one person listening that can tell you what's ahead of them for the rest of their career. But Kyrie can.
Unless he knows he's going to re-sign with Dallas and he's only going to play another 4 years.
Well, I'll just tell you this. I can't take that guy.
I stumped you there.
Nah, I mean, listen. If Kyrie knows he's signing with Dallas, okay, fine. Does he know exactly what's going to happen the rest of his career? Does he know if he's going to stay healthy? Does he know if one day he's going to be watching?
That, clearly,
does he know if one day he's going to be watching the news and world events might upset him so much that he can't show up and play? Does he know that maybe one day he might say something really stupid yet again and find himself not playing? Does he know all this?
Well, I mean, some of that he can control. Some of it he can't.
Maybe he plans to manifest his own destiny.
Exactly.
He's one of those guys,
You don't want Kyrie.
Correct.
But me and Ireland, on the short term, if you tell me it's only 2 years, I roll that dice all day.
If you told me that Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis were going to team up and you had a Joker/Murray inside-outside kind of a thing, I would say that sounds awesome with two problems. One, I don't know if I can count on Kyrie. And two, I'm not positive I can count on AD.
Yeah, but you got LeBron too.
Well, no, I'm saying if I didn't have LeBron,
right?
Because let me tell you something, adding Kyrie to LeBron and AD sounds terrible to me.
I don't. I think it makes a lot of sense, but we can disagree on that. I don't like the Trae Young fit. Trae Young is a smaller player. Trae Young can't defend. Kyrie's not some great defender. But he's at least he can be when he wants to be, and he's at least average. I don't think Trae Young can even be an average defender in the NBA. So as great as he is as a shooter, he's everyone says, oh, he's like Steph. He is, but he's not built like Steph. Like Steph's gotten bigger, like much bigger, and he is bigger than Trae Young. The guy I kind of like of all the names that have been tossed out recently, I saw this today, Fred VanVleet. Now, he is a free agent, okay, and I'm pretty sure he's a free agent. Yes.
Do you pronounce Fred with the vl?
Fred VanVleet.
Van Vliet.
Van
Vliet.
No, Van Vliet.
Van Vliet.
No, not Vliet.
Oh, my gosh.
Van Vliet.
Van Vliet.
Yes. No V.
And not a F.
No.
Not a Van Fleet.
No, not that either.
Okay, Vliet.
I like him Number one, he doesn't need the ball in his hands. He played with Kyle Lowry, okay? So he doesn't need the ball in his hands. And Pascal Siakam brings up the ball a ton in Toronto. I mean, he does too a little bit, but not a ton. He is tough as nails, like period. Like tough player. Has a championship pedigree. He knows what it takes to be a 16-game player. Can hit threes. Like he's a decent shooter. And defends. Like he's a thick, even though he's not tall, he's thick as hell. So that's the guy, if they could find a way to work. Like if I had to pick of those three, Kyrie's got the highest ceiling, but you aren't wrong about the lack of dependability. That can't be summarily dismissed. If I had to pick between those three, I would pick Van Vliet because I think that even though he's not the offensive genius Kyrie is, he's way better defensively, and he fits a role better, even though he's getting paid more than a role player would get paid because he's more than a role player. Like he's a legit all-star caliber type player.
Yeah, Kyrie Irving, this team, if you told me it was LeBron and AD and you said you're adding Kyrie to the mix, I'd say get ready to have a very similar circumstance to Russell Westbrook. And when you say no, Kyrie's much better, he's a much better shooter, all true, fair. But he's a locker room problem. He's a selfish player. He's completely unreliable. By the way, I also have to consider the business of my organization and the community that I'm in, and with his reputation that precedes him, I don't think Kyrie works at all. Now, could LeBron force feed it to the Lakers? I don't know. Maybe the Lakers front office is like, nah, we've already listened to you a couple of times. We like what we're doing. We don't want Kyrie.
Well, you don't want Kyrie.
Well, I mean, I don't, but I don't know if they do.
Yeah. Well, I don't think the organization does either. That's my best guess. Let's call it an educated guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An educated guess, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually when you have an educated guess, it means somebody told you who. Come on, give it to me. Who?
Didn't you learn your lesson from earlier this week already?
What happened?
Last week?
What happened earlier this week?
Jeez, for the love with you.
What happened?
All right, coming up next. Trading LeBron? That's what someone thought would be a good idea? For a bunch of borderline all-star and a bunch of spare, like a young player barely plays and an overpaid young player? I mean, that sounds like spare parts to me. We'll tell you what this story's all about coming up in a second.
7:15 p.m. in the Southland. It is time for the Producer Laura rejoin of the day. Take it away, Producer Laura.
Is this Maná?
It is Maná.
You were right. It was on the tip of your tongue?
Right.
I knew Cappy wouldn't know it, but I went to the LAFC game last night. I mean, we didn't.
Oh, man. I wanted to go.
Well, you should have.
Yeah.
But, we didn't win, but it's okay. The Galaxy had their stars out there. I saw Chicharito, but LAFC only had the youngins, the B team, so they can be proud of that. Anyways, this song started playing, and, of course, you hear it, you start vibing. If you know, you know. But it really took me back to a concert that I went to go see Maná. And I was, flat out just dancing, having the best time of my life last night. And my friend's like, you're really somewhere else. And I was like, yeah, I'm at this concert. So I was wondering what song places you guys back at a concert. Like, if you hear it, you're like, I'm there.
Yep, I got one right away.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
So 2 summers ago, Ohana Fest, Doheny State Beach, Pearl Jam. And when they sing the song Black live, it is a religious experience. And when I hear that song driving down the road, I can still see myself that night and all the people around me. And I can hear that one line, I'm spinning, whoa, 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 I'm spinning. And the whole place going crazy. So, yeah, I can feel you, Laura.
So I have one. My favorite band is Depeche Mode. I've seen them in many different cities across the country. And the one that I think of the most now is when I hear Enjoy the Silence, because they did such a great job. These guys are in their 60s, man, and they're running around like they're still 20 years old around the stage, particularly Dave Gahan, their lead singer. He's a maniac. He's sweating bullets the entire time. And watching it in the Hollywood Bowl and the entire crowd, because he lets the entire crowd sing the chorus, and everybody singing it, brought, I just thinking about it brings chills to me. So that's where I go immediately, because I think the Hollywood Bowl, it is my favorite venue here to watch a concert in Southern California. I know that there's a lot of great ones, trust me. The Greek, etc. There's a million of them, I get it. But to me, that's the one. So, because I think of that, I think of Gahan letting the crowd sing the chorus and him just kind of putting the mic out in front of the crowd like a great performer would do at a concert, right? Because that's the move. If you're a lead singer, Cappy, and you're tired and you want the audience to sing the chorus like this, the move is to put the mic out into the crowd, right? And then everybody just does your job for you.
Well, that and, keep everybody engaged, show that everybody knows the words. I saw Depeche Mode one time in a driving rainstorm in a summertime. It was hot. It was humid. I was wearing a pair of cut-off jean shorts with no underpants.
Wow.
Why did you just say that?
Exactly.
Well, because Laura, you were asking me to create memories, and when I think
that's
about
fair.
Depeche Mode and it was
fair.
pouring rain, I can see myself wearing a pair of cut-off jean shorts. I was wearing some Daisy Dukes with no underpants.
You could have left the second part out. Just saying.
But you know what? Also, really quick, George.
Yeah.
I remember I went to go see Redick, and the lead singer, got trashed. I mean, he was
on stage.
done. Yeah, he was done to the point that people realized he forgot the words, and people just started singing. They just helped him out.
This is where everybody sings, and he puts the mic out. That's the move. I would totally be the tired singer and be like, all right, you guys sing, man. I'm tired.
Remember when we played the Newlywed Game and your
my wife sang the
this
chorus
part?
to the song.
That was
Right.
adorable. That was heartwarming.
Heartwarming is what it was, to be sure.
All right. I have the theme park thing that we're going to do a little later. We'll do that right before Dealer's Choice in the last segment. But real quick, so a couple of things here, Cappy. All right. Let's start with this conversation that this Kevin O'Connor, okay? This Kevin O'Connor, this guy, okay, of The Ringer. And I say that lovingly because I do like him. He's a very nice human being.
I don't know him.
Really nice. You'd love him. You'd love to. He's the type of kid you want to have a beer with, okay?
Oh, really?
Yeah. But this trade that he has come up with, O'Connor, what the hell are you doing, O'Connor? Okay? KOC, all right?
Tell him to check himself.
I mean, what are you doing? Do better. He's putting this trade, LeBron to the Warriors. And look, I get his logic for the Warriors. They're in win now mode. They've already traded Wiseman. LeBron is in win now mode, clearly. So it works for them. But for the Lakers, you're going to get back Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, and Jonathan Kuminga? I like Jonathan Kuminga as a long-term prospect still. I am still bullish on him in that regard, and maybe I'll end up having to sell that stock eventually. But I am bullish on him. I like him, and he just hasn't. He picked up basketball at a very late age in life, but he's an incredible athlete.
I think I heard that he's only been playing basketball for like 17 minutes in his life.
Yeah, 17 minutes exactly. And Andrew Wiggins is a one-time All-Star, and look, I don't know if he's really a one-time. I mean, he's a one-time All-Star, so I'm not gonna take it away from him. I would not have voted for him as an All-Star starter personally, but nonetheless, he was an important part of the Warriors championship team a couple years ago. Arguably their second best player. So he's a good player. He's become a much better player than he ever was in Minnesota. Okay, but if that's the best player you're getting, because don't give me Jordan Poole. I mean, that kid was an unmitigated disaster these playoffs.
And by the way, you say a disaster in the playoffs, and that's true. And everything that Steve Kerr talked about after the season, that they never were able to regain their trust after Draymond punched Jordan Poole. Here's the thing. Jordan Poole came off as being such a selfish player in the postseason
that people decided to turn. That people started to think, well, maybe Draymond had a point.
Well, I mean, I think that most of us when we first saw the punch, we assumed that Poole was the victim of the bigger guy kind of pushing him around, bullying him in some way. But in actuality, what we might not have realized is that Jordan Poole may not be a great teammate. So I like the notion and the concept of the piece that was written in The Ringer. I don't love the suggestion as to what you're getting back, but I think more than anything, the notion was if LeBron wants out, if LeBron looks at the Lakers and says, I won't win another championship with this organization, it's going to take too long, and I don't have the time. If he's in win-now mode, which we all know he is, and if the Warriors are, with their older guys too, the concept isn't crazy. It's just the return package doesn't look so good in theory.
That part is absurd. I mean, I also don't see LeBron asking for a trade.
I don't think so either. Does the author realize that Bronny's going to USC?
Yeah. Come on, KOC.
Do better, bro.
He's not going to, Cal.
Right.
Or
He ain't going to Stanford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it just
but
seems
you know what, George? Let me tell you something, though. So, remember after the Rams won the Super Bowl, and everybody was talking about Aaron Donald. Hey, let's run it back. And people were contemplating, hey, Aaron Donald may retire. And I remember coming on the air going, no, he's not.
Yeah.
And
LeBron's probably not going to retire either.
Well, let me say it like this. 1,000% LeBron is not retiring.
Wow. That's 10 times 100%.
That's right, smart guy. LeBron James is not retiring from the NBA. You don't score 40 points in Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals and think to yourself, I don't think I really have it anymore. It's a young man's game. Can't really play it. I mean, it's the exact same thing as Brady last year. I mean, if Brady wanted to come back this year.
It always comes back to Brady.
If Brady wanted to play again, he just passed for 4,500 yards. Of course he could still play. If LeBron James just scored 40 points in Game 4 of a Western Conference Finals with the way his body has been beaten up, not just this season, but over the last couple of years, and frankly, over the past 20 years, LeBron James ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. If I was a betting man, I would definitely not.
I mean,
bet on him to retire.
I appreciate the drama that LeBron has created.
Oh, my God, thank you. I mean, from a content perspective, he's doing the Lord's work.
Now, just imagine if they got Kyrie, too.
Oh!
That's what I'm rooting for.
I mean, it would be – people would be going crazy.
I mean, look at the content he's provided. It's just the thought of it happening, Cap.
Oh, listen, I love the thought of Kyrie playing for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And then I really, really love the thought of Kyrie not playing for the Lakers. And if Kyrie plays for the Lakers...
Right, but if he plays for the Lakers, ultimately you would get what you want, which is content.
Right, he's my new Brody.
Exactly.
Better than Brody, I think.
Way better than Brody.
He may be a better basketball player than Brody.
Yeah.
And
but
better
he's
content.
he's a he's an equal diva. In fact, you know what? Check that. I'm wrong on that. He's 100 times the diva
Yeah, I was going to say.
that Russell Westbrook is.
Oh, yeah, for sure on that. I'll give you that.
Way more storylines.
So if you're rooting for Kyrie to play for the Lakers, you're actually rooting for Kyrie to not play for the Lakers. Do you feel me? Does everybody get me on that?
I guess.
I feel like, though, the content, if they were good and he did
Yeah.
play, like, that'd be just as fun,
Yeah.
right? Like, how good are they? Ah!
I'm going to tell you right now, I can't root for Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
Oh, no, we've definitely established that you can't.
Can't do it.
I'll do it for you. I'll root twice as hard.
I know you will.
All right. Real quick, Dodgers want to give people an update. Dodgers trailing 3-1, top of the 8th in Atlanta. We've talked about going to a Dodger game. Do you want to go next Wednesday? They're playing a day game.
Yeah, man.
Wednesday day game. You know, it's not a bad idea, as a matter of fact.
We can go for like a little while and then come to the studio.
Let's do it.
That's a really good idea because I think on Tuesday, because we have the day off because of it's Memorial Day, right?
Right.
I always screw up Memorial and Labor Day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to be over at the crib at the East Central
Right.
on Tuesday night.
Where
and
they're
then
going to regret this very quickly.
And then we could get up and we could go over to the Dodger game. I like that idea. Who are they playing next week? On Wednesday.
On Wednesday, they play the Nationals in a 3-game set Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh, Nationals stink,
who's got the tickets?
We'll figure that out, Cap.
Don't say to me we got to buy tickets. Don't even say that to me.
Of
Then
course.
you can Hey King somebody then, Cap.
Then, yeah, you get us the free tickets. That's a good point, Lindsay.
Yeah,
good.
no,
I'm
that's
glad
true.
you snapped at him that way.
No, it's either I get us free tickets or
Won't
George
happen.
buys them.
Yeah, right. Clearly, that
So you
becomes
get
the knee
them.
by them.
Yeah,
Right.
why don't you get them?
All right,
man?
you know
glad you
what? I'll
get
go to
them.
work on that.
Go
I'll go to
Hey
work on
King
that.
someone for Wednesday.
I will.
We're not even staying for the whole game.
Hey
Okay.
King.
Okay. Hey King, and then
3
and I'm gonna-
o'clock we leave, and it will take us, the 45 minutes to get back here.
And
even
I'm gonna
though it's
sit
like
right-
5 miles away.
I'm going to sit
that
right in the
bad,
front row.
actually. I've
I'm going
gone
to sit
to a
right
day
in the
game.
front row, right behind home plate.
Okay.
Those seats are always available. No one's ever sitting there, especially during day games.
There you go. Go do what you got to do.
Oh, I actually might be able to get tickets, Cap.
Of course you can. Hey, Queen.
I might.
We
Yeah.
should all drive in the same car so that way if we do get stuck in traffic and we're late, we'll just call in and do the show
Do
from
the show from the
back
car.
of
Good
the
idea.
Uber.
It's a very good
That'd be
idea.
funny.
Yeah.
Solid
the
concept.
mobile ISDN. All right, coming up next, big deal or no deal. But first, Cappy, tell them about your friends at Yamava.
Oh, it'd be my absolute pleasure to tell everybody about Yamava. Look, I'll tell you what the script says, but I'm going to go off the script here for a second. Off script, here's what I want to say. The 909 greatest sports bar on the planet at Yamava. And just go onto their website, yamava.com, for all the information about the great concerts that are coming. Because we've been looking at the summer, and we've been looking at the lineup, and we're like, we want to go this time. We want to go this time. We got to get a room. I'm telling you, man, Yamava's an amazing place. But right now, SoCal's #1 casino is celebrating the GOAT. 6 rings, 5 MVPs, the Shrug, the flu game. There is only one MJ, and Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving you the chance to walk on air. By the way, saw the movie, loved it. With the ultimate prize package of up to $500,000 in prizes, this May, which I can't believe it's already the 24th, and coming up in June, play for a chance to win a PSA 10 MJ rookie card, iconic sneakers, and free play at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Again, the website, yamava.com for details, YAAMAVA, yamava.com for details. You must be 21. Please gamble responsibly, and 710 listeners are winners at Yamava.
Individuals and
to Lindsay Baseball because it's time for Big Deal or No Deal right now on Sedano and Cap. Take it away, Lindsay.
Thanks, Cappy. You know, you kind of sounded like Brock Purdy doing your thing when you did that. Yeah, exactly. All right, so exactly, just like that. Many startups are now entering the AI podcasting market, providing creators with tools to generate AI voices quickly and easily. While some artists support this new technology, voice actors whose livelihoods are now threatened by AI are on the opposite side of the fence. Skeptics argue that AI voices lack the connection and intimacy that human-hosted podcasts provide to listeners. AI-generated podcasts are part of a broader trend of the automation in the entertainment industry, which has raised concerns about the devaluation of creativity and the desire to cut costs. Is this a big deal or no deal, Cappy?
I'm kind of starting to think that all AI-related things are big deals.
They are. The robots are here, man.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are, and it's kind of like depending on who you talk to, depends on the reaction that you might receive from somebody. Like some people think ChatGPT is now like a cool keyword like cryptocurrency was, or gambling, legalized gambling was. Like it's a hot thing, ChatGPT. Oh yeah, we got that. But then there's another group of people that are like offended, like, I'm going to lose my job eventually because of this stuff, so don't bring it up to me. So it's a big deal.
Listen, it's a great invention, but also could be very challenging one to deal with because I do think it's going to take a lot of jobs. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. By the way, the Dodgers they just tied this up? They did. They just tied it up in Atlanta. Miguel Vargas with a big hit, a double, and there's runners in scoring position. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs, it looks like, in Atlanta. So the Dodgers could take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th.
Atlanta.
Yeah. Big deal. I do think it's a big deal because for the aforementioned reasons. I just think that people's jobs are going to be at stake, although the technology will be incredible, and hopefully we can find ways to make up for some of those jobs in different ways, but it's not ideal. All right, what's next?
All right, so Dana White has chimed in on the Jon Jones-Tyson Fury beef. Last week, Fury blasted Joe Rogan after Rogan said on his podcast that Jones would beat Fury in a street fight. Fury said, quote, "I'm the baddest man on the planet. I heard him say that Jon Jones could bleep me up. Not a man born from their mother could bleep me up in a room on our own. Whatever happens in that room, I'll be walking out of there, not a bleeping problem." Well, Jon Jones then saw Fury's comments and challenged him to a cage fight.
Right.
So now Dana White said, if he wants to fight Jon Jones in the UFC, I'll make it happen. Tyson, if you're serious, let me know. Tyson and I have a good relationship. Tyson can talk, Jon can talk, I can talk. Let's do it. So is this Jon Jones-Tyson Fury beef thing a big deal or no deal?
I mean, it's a big deal because Dana White's no dummy. He sees all the money that it can make. I mean, that's exactly what he sees.
I'm on the opposite side of this one. I'm going no deal, and here's why. Because if Tyson Fury gets into a cage with Jon Jones, he's dead meat. You put him in a boxing ring against Jon Jones, he'll probably beat him up. But I don't give Tyson Fury much chance of survival in an octagon. Boxing match, he's tall, he's long.
He's a big dude.
He's heavy.
Kinda,
right.
kinda
Big.
Large.
Right.
Thick.
But in a mixed martial arts octagon, I mean, Jon Jones would be like a lion, and Tyson Fury would be like a giant hippo. Just jump on his back and take him down.
Hippos are actually like extremely dangerous and
All right, well,
scary.
give me another animal that's really big and not as.
They can swim faster underwater than like any other animal.
How about give me another animal? Give me a better example then.
I don't know, maybe a rhino.
Oh, a rhino. Okay.
But I mean, would you pay for that fight? Like, would you pay to see that Jon Jones versus Tyson Fury in the UFC?
Hell yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a great fight. All right, next one here. So this one's especially for you, Cappy.
All right.
After Peyton Manning's sports... Oh, hold on. Let me start over. It was announced on Monday night that ESPN won a company record 13 Sports Emmy Awards, including Peyton Manning winning a Sports Emmy for Outstanding Personality/Event Analyst. And after his Sports Emmy was announced, Eli was quick to kind of roast him on Twitter, saying, "I did not know you can win an Emmy for just telling fans when coaches should call a timeout." Kind of funny. So I want to congratulate all of our ESPN teammates on their Emmys and point out one significant winner to you especially, Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who won an Emmy for Outstanding Personality / Reporter?
Oh, how about George Sedano?
It was not George Sedano. We would have heard all about that. Like we would be talking all about that. We'd be celebrating, dancing in the streets.
Okay.
Any other guesses?
An ESPN personality who won for personality and reporter.
I'll tell you.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Lisa Salters.
Hey.
You recently moved her from your #1 sideline reporter down to the 3 spot.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that to her when I saw her the last couple of days.
Yeah, congrats, Lisa. Does this do anything to boost her ranking, Cap?
It does. I mean, I think that Lisa Salters, who's my favorite sideline personality, moved down because of an incident in a broadcast. But I'm flexible and I'm open-minded. And so while Lisa moved down because I'm trying to remember who did she say it to? Austin Reeves. Austin, you just hit that half-court shot, but I didn't see it. What happened? And I was like, Lisa, you don't need to tell him that. You don't need to tell us that. You can fake it. But she told us, and she moved down my rankings. So it was Lisa Salters 1, Pam Oliver 2, George Sedano 3, Mike Trudell 4. Pam Oliver out of season didn't move up. George moved up to 1, Trudell 2. Oliver stayed in the 3 now, or moved down to 3, and Salters went down to 4. But if I have to reorganize today based on Emmy Award winners, Lisa moves back to the top, followed by Sedano. In fact, check that.
She knocked you out?
Followed by Trudell, who I'm starting to have a real love affair with.
There you go.
Then Sedano, and Pam Oliver because she's out of season.
Right.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Wow.
Emmy Award winner and #1 sideline personality, according to me.
Well, you know who also won personality play-by-play?
George Sedano?
No.
Joe Buck.
Mike Breen.
Mike Breen!
Bam.
By the way, happy birthday, Mike Breen. Game 4 was his birthday.
Oh, he had to work on his birthday? Bummer.
No, but he said the only thing he wanted was a 1-possession game, and he got it.
He got it, yeah.
He did. He said that to me in the pregame. He's like, all I want is a 1-possession game.
Well, that's kind of cool.
He did. He got it. That was cool.
All right, next one here. The iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, I can't even say it, Wienermobile, has officially been rebranded. After nearly 100 years, the hot dog-shaped vehicle will be ditching the name it's been using since it first hit the road in 1936. It's now going to be called the Frankmobile. The name change is meant to pay homage to the brand's 100% beef franks as it debuts a tasty new recipe. So I didn't know this part, but apparently thousands of people apply every year to drive the Wienermobiles.
Oh, yeah. People love that thing.
But they only pick 12 drivers, just 12. So that means the job is harder to get than an acceptance letter to Harvard University.
Wow.
Right. So not exactly a big deal, but I have like a vivid memory of seeing the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile as a kid. Wanted to ask if any of you guys do.
I have seen it, yes.
No interaction with it? Like you never went up and got the hot dog whistle?
No. Just saw it from a distance.
No, I definitely have touched the Wienermobile. Like, I mean, I've been like right up on it. You know what I mean? Like, checked it out.
Yeah, we get it. We get
you know?
it. Yep.
Like, look at the size of this thing, man. This thing's huge.
I sound like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead when you said that.
Come
Well, it
on,
was.
Cappy.
I mean, it was huge, man. This giant Wienermobile. And by the way,
Pepe is done with you, I feel like, at this point.
Come on, Cappy.
I mean, he loves you, but he's done with you.
I'm just going to tell you guys right now, the Frankmobile is a terrible concept. The Wienermobile is funny.
I agree.
I agree.
Do you guys ever get, like, did you ever get the whistle, Cappy?
I don't really know of this whistle.
Okay,
no.
so I remember being, I don't know, probably like 10 or something. And at the Richfield Coliseum, where they used to have the Cavaliers games, they had like the old timers game. It was like Austin Carr and Bobby Bingo Smith and Nate Thurmond. And my dad took me, and the Wienermobile was there. So he was like, oh, this is so cool. And I was like, what the hell is the Wienermobile? So you go up to it, and they just were like giving out free hot dogs. And then they had these little whistles that are like, they look just like the Wienermobile. And
So you take the wiener whistle and you blow it.
Yep, exactly. I guess it was like a thing in the commercials. I don't know. But I still have it because I thought it was really cool. It's the only time I've ever seen it, though.
There you have it. We got anything else?
That's it for Big Deal or No Deal.
That's it for Big Deal or No Deal.
Wienermobile.
Yeah. 3-3 still. I'm sorry, bottom of the 8th now, because that's right. They're in Atlanta, so they're the home team. So 3-3 now. So the Dodgers scored a couple in the top of the 8th, and they are trying to hold serve here. Things are looking good right now. So we'll keep you up to date on them. Now, coming up next, Cappy, of course, as we do every night, we're going to have Dealer's Choice.
Of course we are.
At some point that we got to get to. But there's some football stuff that I want to get to. Plus, there's the theme park rankings here in Southern California. L.A., OC and South LA, as you like to call it.
Right.
KTLA has done the homework for you on price, amount of rides at the park, overall, et cetera, and we'll give you those lists coming up all in just a moment. Stick around. We're back in 2 minutes here on 710 ESPN.
Afternoon. Don't forget 7 o'clock Lakers Talk with Slee. It is National Scavenger Hunt Day. And he turns 85 today. Tommy Chong.
Wow.
And of course, who could forget the Cheech and Chong Classic? That's right, born in East LA.
Yeah.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Sedano and Kap. Final segment, your Wednesday afternoon right now.
On in East LA. What a great movie. Great song. Did you ever watch that movie, Born in
I
East
haven't
LA?
seen it in a really long time.
I
though.
mean, I was a kid when I
Yeah.
saw that movie the first time, and then I saw it again as an adult, and it was still really funny. As a kid, you don't get all the jokes, obviously, but as an adult, it was really funny.
I thought Cheech and Chong were just these two guys that were always going to be Cheech and Chong. Didn't know that, they were going to go off their separate ways. And I guess in Cheech Marin's situation, became it was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
TV
he was.
shows, movies.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff for sure. All right. Shout out to Cheech Marin, who's a very regular. He's fairly irregular, I would say, at Laker games. So,
And shout out to Tommy Chong, who loves weed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they both love weed. So do you.
I feel like Tommy Chong likes it more than all of us.
Right. Probably more than all of us. That's fair. All right. Let's talk some NFL here, Cappy. We got Raiders, we got Chargers, and we got a wide receiver that could be on the market. But actually, 2 wide receivers, potentially. So there's chatter. Now, we've seen this stuff with Davante Adams, right? Remember there was the initial thing where he told The Ringer that, he wasn't feeling his situation with the Raiders. But then, that story came out, and he posted an Instagram picture with the GM, interestingly enough, not with the coach. So then everyone started to think to themselves, well, maybe he's got a Josh McDaniels problem. There's more chatter about him potentially being traded after June 1st, because that would make things a little easier for them, I believe, from a cap perspective. So not only is that the reason he's in the news today, social media has had their words with Davante Adams, particularly Rams fans, because He gave his list of his top 7 wide receivers and did not have Cooper Kupp on them. His top 7 were, he actually had himself number 1. Okay, no problem.
That's a Cappy move.
No.
I have no
shocker
problem with
there.
that. I'm okay with him doing that.
That's funny.
I'm totally fine with him doing that. Justin Jefferson, 2A is what he said. So this was technically a top 5, but it's a 7 because he did A's, like a couple of ties, which is kind of weird. But he did Justin Jefferson 2A, Tyreek Hill 2B, Stephon Diggs number 3, Calvin Ridley, who hasn't played in over a year, number 4, Mike Evans tied for 5th, along with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, I don't think he belongs on that list personally, but Cooper Kupp definitely belongs on that list if CeeDee Lamb is on that list. But Rams fans upset, and it does seem more and more likely now that the stuff about him being traded at least is intensifying.
Well, I mean, I don't think the guy wants to be there. I mean, Devontae Adams went to the Raiders to play with Derek Carr, and about 10, 11 games into the season, the Raiders made a decision based on their coach. Derek Carr's not our quarterback anymore, and Devontae Adams was like, but I came to play with him. He's my best friend. We were going to create something here. You guys are cutting this off after like 11, 12 games? And they did. And so he doesn't want to be there. He went to Vegas not to play for the Raiders, not to live in Las Vegas. He went there to play with Derek Carr, or so I perceive.
Yeah, I think so. It was his college buddy, his buddy, right, all that stuff. Yeah, so.
Not having Cooper Kupp in this discussion of his top 7.
It does seem weird.
It does, but George, there just is, unfortunately, no matter what Cooper Kupp does, no matter how many stats he produces, Super Bowl wins, insane performances in the Super Bowl, everything he's accomplished, people find ways to take it away from him. You know, they're like, system wide receiver. It's just Sean McVay, just taking advantage of him. He's the only guy they got. He's their option, the number 1 guy. I think Cooper Kupp is a great, great player who's totally disrespected around the league.
I would agree with that. I do think he's disrespected. And, hopefully he comes back healthy and can prove people wrong because he's really damn impressive. I don't think there's any doubt. He's not the athletic phenom that some of these guys are, like Devontae or Justin or Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs. But he just gets the damn job done. So I'll give him that. All right. Next, we've got your boys. As the president of the Charger Hater Club, we were talking a lot about Austin Eckler leaving. Well, apparently he's rescinded his trade request after he got a $2 million incentive boost.
I don't understand what's going on with Austin Eckler. You go out publicly, you rip the organization, you talk about how cheap they are, and then you come back for $2 million in incentives? I mean, listen, I don't care if the incentive is, hey, you have to start 5 games. And he thinks, well, shoot, I can start 5 games, no problem. And you're like, hey, well, that's $500,000. Like, you came back to possibly earn $2 million?
I thought what's going on, Cap.
I thought the fight was for a lot more money than that. Yeah, tell me, Lindsay.
No one else wanted to give him more money.
Well, there's that too, probably.
But he's under contract.
Right, there's that too. But what I'm saying, but also, there was probably no one willing to trade for him and then offer him an extension that he would want too. You know what I mean?
You know why? Because when you're a 28-year-old running back,
that's it.
Most teams are like, yeah, well, maybe he'll get another season or two, but after he gets to 30, he's toast.
Right, so here are the incentives. Do you want to hear them?
Oh, I would love to.
He can earn $1 million if he tallies between 1,125 and 1,629 total yards. That's combined. Now, he catches a lot of balls, right? Like, he caught more balls than anybody last year.
What, can you just say those numbers again one more time?
1,125 to 1,629 in total yardage.
Right. 1,629, where'd they come up with that?
I don't know, man. That's probably based on what other guys have done or he's done even, potentially. Why are you oivaying the number, though?
1,629? I mean, they didn't go 1,630. They didn't go 1,600. 1,629. Right?
Well, last year...
How about if he gets to 1628 and they pull him out of the last game of the season?
So last year, Austin Eckler... I'm going to do this on my calculator really quick. 915 plus...
Oh, we don't get the Sedano math?
722. I'm tired already. 1637 he had last year.
Oh, I just got to get to 1629 this year. That's all. All right. So that's
one.
Yeah.
Then he also gets $600,000 if he scores between 10 and 16 touchdowns.
Okay.
Which, let me see how many touchdowns he had.
He had a lot last year. I think he had, 28-ish.
Yeah, he had no, he didn't. He had 13 on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and he had 5 receiving.
Okay, 18.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the year before, he had 20 total.
Okay, all right.
Okay. But he scores a lot of touchdowns. You are right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets $150,000 if he makes the Pro Bowl, which, let's face it, everybody makes the Pro Bowl now. So he'll get that. But those are the incentives right there.
Those suck.
Yeah.
Because you know what? You have to actually play to get those incentives.
Right.
You know, that's why they're incentives, because you're incentivized to go get them.
Yeah. So that's Austin Eckler, your boy.
$2 million. Austin, my man, really? You were arguing, hey, I'm making $6 million a year. You went out and publicly ripped the team, called the ownership cheap, and you came back for $2 million in potentially achievable incentives, assuming you're healthy? $2 million bucks? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd take the $2 million, but...
You do it for less.
Oh, you know it.
And lastly, DeAndre Hopkins heard the Bills and Patriots could be interested in trading for him. Now, the Patriots makes all the sense in the world. They desperately need a receiver. The Bills, I feel like, have plenty of receivers. If you could get DeAndre Hopkins, you get him, obviously.
Yeah, but if I'm the Bills, I mean, I got to really think to myself, we thought we were a Super Bowl team last year. How far away are we, and what positions of need do we have, and is wide receiver really that? And do we need another star wide receiver? Do we need another personality in the office? You know, in the receiver room?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
All right, let's switch to these amusement parks, the stories and the rankings here in Southern California, in L.A., OC, and South L.A., as Cappy likes to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Top theme parks. This is on KTLA's website today. Top theme parks ranked by price. All right. Number 1, as in the best value, Knott's Berry Farm.
When was the last time you were at Knott's Berry Farm?
I have never been. My kids have.
Dude,
Nunca?
Knott's Berry Farm.
Never.
I've never been there either.
Knott's Berry Farm is an excellent amusement park.
Yeah, my
They've
kids
got
love it.
Great roller coasters.
Yeah.
And there's enough rides to there are enough really good, scary, up and down kind of roller coasters. You know, I say up and down. I'm trying to make like a circular motion. People on YouTube can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Knott's Berry Farm's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's number 1 according to by price. Number 2, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. I mean, Six Flags, obviously a lot of roller coasters.
Six Flags
and stuff,
Discovery Kingdom.
But what's that?
Yeah, because Magic Mountain is the one I think of. What's
same.
Discovery
Wait,
Kingdom?
I'll get to Six Flags Magic Mountain is also on the list, but
what's the thing?
Six
Kingdom?
Flags I'm not
It's
familiar.
well, me and Funches looked it up because we didn't know what it was. It's like
Yeah.
up north, and they were like, "Yeah, that might be the best thing because they don't have nothing else."
Oh yeah, it's in Vallejo.
where?
Yeah.
Vallejo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then it's Belmont Park, also down there in South LA, number 3.
Belmont Park is a tiny little beach side,
Like roller coaster place.
old
Yeah.
school wooden roller coaster kind of a place. I
Like
wouldn't put it
Castle
that
Park.
high.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it that high.
California Great America.
Where's that?
I don't know where that is.
I love Great America in New Jersey, but I've never been to a Great America in California.
Yeah.
Never
No.
been to any of these places.
I don't know
I've
where
heard of
Great America
California.
Santa Clara.
They that's
Oh,
so
really?
this is the state of California.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
So now NorCal is involved too.
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Park, which is up there, right? Six Flags Magic Mountain is number 6. SeaWorld.
Okay, I got to admit, I've never been to Magic Mountain.
Oh hell!
And I
I've
always
even
want to
been.
go during the summer, but everybody says it's like so darn hot.
It's hot.
Super hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's packed. 7 is SeaWorld down there in South LA. Disneyland at number 8,
I
according to
don't get it.
value.
That's way too. I mean, maybe because it's expensive.
It's the
but
this is on price.
yeah.
Yeah. So Disneyland and California Adventure, and number 9, Hollywood Studios. I'm sorry, Universal Studios. In
Oh,
Hollywood.
Universal
Sorry.
Studios is great.
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
expensive. Then, based on the number of attractions, I'll go quickly here. Six Flags Magic Mountain, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, California Great Adventure, Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland Park, Disney's California Adventure, SeaWorld San Diego, Universal Studios Hollywood, Pacific Park, Belmont Park. And then overall, as we have less than a minute here, so we may not have a dealer's choice today.
This is dealer's choice.
Okay, there you go. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Knott's Berry Farm, California Great America, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Belmont Park, Disneyland Pacific Park, Disney California Adventure Park, SeaWorld San Diego, Universal Studios Hollywood. So those are the overall categories. But everyone likes to plan these things for the summer. There's a bunch of parks that you can go across the state. that you can
I will
see.
tell you guys, based on everything I just heard, that entire report, I feel really good about Knott's Berry. It's conveniently
It is.
located.
It's
The
got a lot of
price is
stuff,
right?
right?
And there's a ton of roller coasters. I like Knott's Berry.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with the kids
You
because they've
should.
been. Yeah,
It's really nice. My niece works there right now, so she loves it.
great. So there you go. A a little service for the families out there listening.
There you go.
And, head out to the theme parks. You can hit them all, actually, all 10 of them that we just mentioned. All right, we're done here. Cappy, great work.
Yeah, nice day today, everybody.
Yeah. Excellent work, ladies. Lindsay and Laura. Coming up next, Slee on the spot. Lakers talk. Oh, boy. You thought we talked a lot of Lakers today. Wait till you hear what my man Slee has to say about the Lakers